Here we are. It's Packer outright opinions, Packer player outright opinions, Packer coach, head coach outright opinions. Conversely to every other opinion in the universe after watching that game. And
not my opinion. Not my opinion.
Not your opinion. Well, I would say so too. I would say so too.
Not my opinion.
Okay. I agree.
But I am a dumb, average white guy, according to Rashad Mendenhall, just so you know. Just heads up.
Rashad Mendenhall?
Yeah. Apparently he wants to be back in the news after 10 years of no one ever talking about him by putting out a racist comment. I don't want to talk about, but you probably don't want to get into that sort of thing. But I'm going to get into it starting the show. I kind of surprised you with that, but he had a thing where he was like, he said the Pro Bowl should be black guys against white guys in the Pro Bowl. That's what he said.
Okay.
Because he said he's sick of average white guys telling him how explaining football or something like that. And I'm like, what the hell is that? Like, why are you trying to get a race thing going on here? So I don't know. I just said I didn't say to him, but I put something on Facebook. I was like,
maybe you did. I thought you commented right back to.
Well, I commented not back to him. I just something on Facebook. I just said, thank you as a Packer fan. Thank you, Rashad Mendenhall, for your fumble in the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Which was caused by a black guy and a white guy working together to smack the piss out of you. So you fumbled it. Because we can work together. You don't have to be racist. You can work together and fucking knock the ball out of some piece of shit's hands, and then we win the game.
We're like,
I don't like racist talk. I don't like it. It bothers me. We had it. Remember the summer of the George Floyd thing? We had a bunch of shows about it.
Yeah,
it's hard. It's hard enough to live in this world where there are people who bring this stuff up, and then when you're here and
holy crap. David's had 4 beers already. This show's going to be great.
I need some beers. I'm just saying, like, why divide stuff? It's just dumb. Why keep dividing everybody? Let's work together.
That's what
why do you got to, like, you're a guy who hasn't played in 10 years. And now, of course, everybody hears about it because it's a racist statement. Plain and simple.
Yeah.
And everybody complains about how there's no, like, I mean, there's no African-American coaches, right? There's hardly any African-American coaches. And I'm like this. Well, that's because, let's face it, most of the African-American guys are a little more athletic than white guys. It's true. He's not wrong in that. But if, as a white guy who loves football, I would have loved to play football, but I can't. I suck. But I love it, and I study it the best I can, and I'm really into it, and I love it. So if I wanted to do anything in the NFL, I would have to be a coach or a GM or a scout or a talking head on some random YouTube channel that doesn't even have
which hit 400 shows. I didn't realize last one was
whatever. I'm just saying
400.
I don't have the talent to be a great star or to play, but I do have the mind, and I care and love football enough that I watch it and study it. And I may not know a lot, and I may not know everything, but you don't have to have had played the game to study it and understand the game. And that's something that Rashad Mendenhall loses in his text that he had. So I'm sorry. I didn't think I was even going to talk about this today. It just came to me just now. So I'm sorry about that. I don't want to start off race stuff because I hate it. I don't want to be any type of race things. I would love to see,
harmony,
African-American coaches for the Packers or for anybody. It'd be awesome. I don't care.
That's one of the reasons I'm rooting for Jordan Love too. And saying, hey,
Jordan Love, we got African-American, quarterback. That's great. I'm hoping he's great, but it's just, at this point, like, why bring something so stupid up like that? And he's saying like, "Oh, I'm sick of all these average white guys telling me how to football." It's like, if you have never played the game, you shouldn't be talking or something like that. I'm paraphrasing what his text was, and then he was like, "We should have a Pro Bowl between the black guys and the white guys." Well, first of all, you got like 80% black guys and 20% white guys in the NFL, so it'd be kind of like a little bit outnumbered there, as far as I know. And I hate to be a jerk, but the best team in football right now, the best offensive football right now, has a lot of white guys on it.
That's true. But,
the 49ers. The 49ers have a white running back, which is hard to come by nowadays. A really good tight end, a really good fullback, a good quarterback. Now they have some awesome African-American wide receivers. They got a great left tackle who's the African-American. Everybody's working together.
Yeah.
So I just don't want to, I don't like the divide. And guys like Rashad Mendenhall coming out of the woodwork after 10 years of, disappearing and nobody gives a rat's ass to stir up some racial shit is fucking dumb.
After 10 years of that, and after 15 years
so
after fumbling in the Super Bowl.
Right. So I just wanted to say thank you, Rashawn Mendenhall, for the Super Bowl win, because I don't think we would have won had he not fumbled.
Yeah,
it was looking pretty rough there.
Yep, getting a little dicey.
But Clay Matthews and Ryan Pickett sandwiched his ass and fumbled, and then of course we had Desmond Bishop, who's a black guy, who freaking picked up the fumble. So I'll take a black guy, I'll take a white guy, I'll take an Asian guy, I'll take a yellow guy, I'll take a purple guy, I'll take a green guy.
You take Barney.
As long as they're playing, I don't care. As long as they're wearing green and gold on the field, that's my guy. You know what I'm saying? Now I have some problems with some green and gold guys right now.
Well, I do too, and that's the next part. And David will get to that. And JJ, David says you were right. We got Bakered. We'll get to that. Man. We got plenty of Baker stuff to show because he lit him up. And JJ says, "Why is Joe Barry still employed in Green Bay?"
We'll get into that.
A lot more than Joe Barry.
We'll get into that, JJ. I'll tell you why he's still employed.
And there's Matt LaFleur said some stuff too. But we got to go with, just like you just sprung that news on me, we got to go with the news of the day, which is DeVondre Campbell, $50 million man, who catching some heat because the Packers played like garbage. He got beat a whole bunch, played like garbage, has not lived up to the contract since the day he signed it. We said, don't sign him, don't give him this contract. He had a nice year in his, make or break year, and the Packers had a choice, and they gave him a big contract, and now he has not performed well and also had injuries. And now he's catching heat because he's in the game playing. Wasn't on the injury report, by the way. Was not on the injury report. And then comes out and says this on his X account, Twitter account. I'm still going to call it Twitter because X is dumb.
Yeah, it's dumb.
Not going out my way anymore. I'm not playing through injuries anymore because when shit goes wrong, they always use it against you. I'm treating everyone accordingly and giving them the same energy they giving me. Focus on yourself and your mental, 59. You owe it to yourself. Now, there is certainly a cultural situation right now where everyone's focused on themselves all the time, which in a
lot of selfishness.
In a team game, in a team sport, in a thing that's all about team and working together, that's kind of a problem, number one. Number two, this is a veteran player. He's a little older than some of these really young guys who've been coddled into this stuff, who, got a good contract in Atlanta, then fell off, then found his way back. And you would think after one season of playing pretty well and the Packers paying him for that one season, paying him a lot of money following that one season, that there would be some loyalty, some appreciation, some desire to give back and to try your hardest. And we hear it all the time, Ben, as well, right? In the world of football, you get into the season and nobody's 100% healthy, right? Everybody's dealing with some stuff. I mean,
Jaden Reed is playing with like an ankle and a shoulder and like a concussion. And like he's had so many injuries over the last couple of weeks and he's still out there working.
I mean,
Dontavion Wick's ankle was all whacked out at the end of the game last week. And he's out there balling it, getting 90 some yards receiving, breaking tackles, making guys miss.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
And and this guy's supposed to be one of your team leaders. He was a team captain last year. I don't think he is this year.
Well, we don't have team captains.
Oh, that's right. We don't have captains.
Because Jair got butt hurt last year when he wasn't named the team captain. So Matt LaFleur made it so there's no team captains this year. And that's why there's a big leadership issue on this team.
It's funny you bring up his name too, because I did finally go back. I did finally go back and watch his latest locker room interview from a couple weeks ago where he had the belt and looked ridiculous. And of course he's wearing sunglasses again because he's a Julian thing. He can't speak unless he has sunglasses on. And, somebody asked him the question, Jair Alexander, as the highest, I didn't realize he was the highest paid cornerback in the league. Holy
technically
balls.
Like why would you do total number, but not like guarantees.
Why would you do that? Much. Yeah, but why would you do that? Number one. But anyway,
because he's a first round pick. He's Goody's guy.
So anyway,
can't tackle, can't get interceptions, but he's a top corner in the league.
As the highest corner, one of the great corners in the league and highest paid cornerback in the league, any pressure to come back and play and feel that, like you should come back? Oh, no. I'm not coming back until I'm 100%. If I'm not 100%, I'm not playing, is what he said. I mean, what? This is football. The only time you're ever 100% is maybe before the season starts. Like, you got to play through some stuff. You got to get a little beat up and then recover and then get good enough to play again. And if you're telling me, and he even said in one of his responses, even as, especially as an elite corner, because they're asking, well, will that shoulder like keep you from being able to do some things? And, and he's like, oh yeah. And even, especially with an elite corner, it can really slow you down or hold you back. And I'm just like, what are you talking about, man? Like, if you think you're that great, you think you're the number one player in the NFL, which you have said into someone's face, into a microphone without cracking a smile or a joke, which it should have been a joke. But you said that. You think that about yourself. You think if you're a little dinged up, that you're not better than Carrington Valentine or Corey Ballantyne? If that's what you really think about yourself, and you're a little hampered, you being on the field isn't better than those guys? What are you playing for? Who are you playing for? You were out there this year. You were out there at times and you got embarrassed too. Because guess what? No quarterbacks are scared of Jair Alexander. They're throwing it right at you. They're getting completions. They're running the ball at you. You can't tackle them. You don't want to tackle them. So are you milking this injury because you don't want to keep getting embarrassed? Because you don't want that tarnish, you don't want that image tarnished from what everybody's built you up to be so great. Because in reality, you're not. Just like DeVondre Campbell. And these are two of the highest paid guys on defense, a defense that is highly underperforming. And we said it coming into this year. When we had our expectations for this season, it was the defense had to be dominant, had to finally pay off for what they've invested in it. And it has disappointed. And yes, there are problems with the offense and all this stuff. But the other arguments and all the excuses and all the stuff about youngest team in the league and all that has been, those aren't the guys making the mistakes. I mean, they are, some of them, but damn, a bunch of these guys who should know better, who have been around, who are the team leaders, veterans, highest paid guys, are the ones making mistakes too and costing this team a bunch. And so what does this say to you, Ben? Like, how does this team come together with leadership examples like that, and also seeing that those are the guys the Packers have chosen to pay? If you're a guy in his first year, his first contract, a rookie contract, undrafted free agent guy who's signed, blah, 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 and you see these are the kind of guys that Brian Gutekunst has given money to, what the hell does that say to you?
It tells me that the inmates are running the asylum.
Oof.
That's what it tells me. And it's not just running the asylum with coaching. It tells me it's running the asylum with the GM too. Because these are the guys you gave the big money to. These are the guys that you put all your hopes and dreams into when you signed them to these extensions because you considered them to be good players. And now they are dictating when they play. And they are dictating how they play. It started with David Bakhtiari. He's the one who started all of this. He started the I can't go stuff. And for 3 years, he's been getting paid for doing nothing. And if I was a high-paid guy, and I watched, an all-pro, probably Hall of Fame type left tackle get away with murder, not murder, but get away with getting paid for doing nothing, why can't I do that? I'm a high-paid guy on this team on my second contract. I'm the highest-paid cornerback in the league. David Bakhtiari can't play unless he's 100%. I'm not going to play unless I'm 100%. Now, I will give DeVondre Campbell some credit for trying to go and play out there. Now, as you said, he wasn't listed on the injury report this week, so I don't quite know what he's talking about there. But he played like dog shit. But he has played like dog shit for years. We've shown you. He's not an aggressive player. He's a reactive player. And when you're reactive on defense, only one possible thing happens. You're going to get a lot of tackles. And that's what happened in his all-pro year. He had a lot of tackles, so he was an all-pro. Well, he had a lot of tackles because he reacted to guys getting the ball ahead of him, and then he tackled them. The problem is now he can't get to him to tackle him anymore for some reason. Before he could tackle him, they make a play and then he tackle him. Now he can't get there to make the play and tackle him. And that's a huge difference. But I'll give him that much credit. At least he was out there trying to play. But now, apparently, he doesn't want to go out there and play if he's hurt because he can't take the heat. You make $50 million a year. There's going to be some
other reasons to get out there and play.
Right. I mean, there's going to be some scrutiny on you when you're that high paid of a player. And if you're not performing, you're going to hear it. You're going to hear it. So you better be a little bit more thick-skinned as a high-paid guy. And he is not. And Jair is definitely not he's super thin-skinned just from last year when he wasn't a team captain. He's Zadarius Smith that he got all pissed off. He didn't make his own C chain like Zadarius did, but he did get all pissy and whine, and that's why Matt LaFleur didn't name captains this year. So Aaron Jones, who deserves to be a captain and should be a captain, can't be. He can't wear the C on his jersey this year. When he was so proud to wear it last year for the first time ever. He was so proud. And this year he can't because Jair Alexander whined like a little bitch last year when he wasn't named a captain. But he's not a leader. There's a reason why he wasn't a captain last year, because he's not a leader of men. He's a selfish little bitch. DeVondre Campbell is not a leader either because he doesn't say anything. He's not vocal
stuff when he gets mad.
This team had one leader, two maybe. Rasul Douglas, Rashawn Gary. That's it. The rest of the team, no leader on it. Kenny Clark, he doesn't say shit. Preston Smith, very quiet. Your two leaders were Rasul and Rashawn Gary, and Gary was coming off an injury, and Rasul plays for the Bills. So you tell me why there's an issue. Also, when your defensive coordinator is not, and the position coaches aren't holding these guys accountable, that's when they can run the asylum. So that's the other problem. It's not just Goody who gave all the money. It's also the coaches. Oh, what's that? Oh, you can't go today? Oh, okay. Well, I guess you can't go today. Then why is he active? Like, why is he on the roster? Why isn't he on IR?
Exactly.
The other thing, we've shown video all year of McDuffie making plays. And sometimes he got beat because he's 220 pounds. And he's like 6'1". He's not 6'3", 245 with a 7-foot wingspan like freaking DeVondre Campbell, who's an athletic freak, right? Well, he was, because he's not anymore. He is an athletic freak. He just has zero reaction ability, but that's besides the point.
Yeah, and no aggression.
But McDuffie is aggressive. He attacks. We showed a video of him last week attacking and making a play in the backfield. He's the only guy out there who freaking gives a shit and actually does things half the time. Him and Devontae Wyatt played great last week, and TJ Slate. Those three guys. Not this week, last week. This week, nobody played. But McDuffie didn't even get in the game. So it's not his fault. But if Campbell's hurt, but you got McDuffie, who's looked great all year, play him. What are we doing? That's the coach's problem, too. And if you think it's going to hurt Campbell's feelings, well, guess what? Apparently his feelings are already hurt. So who gives a shit? Sit his ass on the bench. Put in a guy who will actually fucking play. And that's McDuffie. But I don't want to hear any whining by these guys who make all this money and don't want to play. Because you make the money so that you can get scrutinized for your play. And if you're not playing well, or you're not playing because you're a whiny bitch and you don't want to play this, you're 100% because you might look bad, then there's going to be scrutiny coming your way, and you better deal with it and don't whine like a baby about it. Because the rest of us would gladly take your money to sit our asses and do nothing too. I would gladly take the money that Jair's making and Dave Bakhtiari and frickin' Campbell when they're sitting on their ass and they don't want to play. I'll do that same thing.
It's adding up now, isn't it? What's that total on guys that money paid to guys that aren't playing for the Packers? Holy cow.
A lot of guys who don't deserve it. A lot of guys who never deserved it. We said it on this show. Go back and watch them all. We said Jair doesn't deserve it. We said Campbell doesn't deserve it. We said Rashawn Gary doesn't deserve it, but he didn't get the highest contract of all. But he's still. But that's not a attitude thing. I think Rashawn Gary is a great team leader and a good guy. He just doesn't have elite pass rusher game changing ability. He just doesn't. He does not deserve to be paid like elite game changing player. No offense, Rashawn Gary. I love you. You're an awesome guy, but you're not quite there. You're maybe a top 15 pass rusher, low down on that 15. Maybe more like top 20. So
I mean, his biggest thing is he's lacking the speed. If he had speed,
well, that and he still repeatedly does when he doesn't do the bull rush and he does the speed rush, he continuously goes behind the quarterback and tries to come back around. Yeah. And when you do that every time, you're giving up an escape route for any quarterback to step up in the pocket and make a play. And I have a bunch of video to show of it, of Baker Mayfield stepping up in the pocket after Rashawn Gary runs past him, and then he makes a perfect pass.
All right, let's close this and we'll get to the video. So DeVondre Campbell, it feels like since he wasn't on the injury report, that he's bringing up old injuries that he's talking about. Because as he said after the 2022 season, where he revealed, he missed 4 games last year, and he revealed that he was hampered by much of last year by a nagging shoulder injury that he never told anyone about. So that's also kind of annoying and not a great sign when you're, drudging up old injuries as excuses and complaints and things you want to, throw back at people or whatever, because of this. But here's the thing. Guy signed a 5-year, $50 million contract after 1 season with the Packers. And this season alone, he has his worst in pass coverage statistics of his career, of his 8-year NFL career, allowing opposing quarterbacks a 72% completion percentage and a collective 111.2 111.2 passer rating per Pro Football Reference. PFF ranks him as the 54th linebacker at his position out of 80 players. He is definitely not the 54th highest out of 80 players.
That is pretty terrible.
That's the situation. So, deal with it, man. Like, if you didn't want to take some heat for not performing, then you should have never signed that contract. That's all.
Well, he's going to get the money. You just got to be thick-skinned. Period.
Yeah.
You are a high-paid guy. You're going to be scrutinized, and just deal with it and shut it up and then just go home and look at your bank account and be happy.
Yeah. What do we got for bakering here? We got some bakering. Oh, it looks like a Jordan Loving here.
Okay, this is called good quarterbacking. I'm going to show you some good quarterbacking to start off. We're going to be positive here. Here's some Jordan Love good quarterbacking.
I like that.
There's 2 good plays in this game. That's about it, but we'll show you the 2. I don't even remember what happened on these, but we'll take a look at them. Ooh, that was a good tight window throw. Look at that. Now, the nice thing about this play is Jaden Reed jumps into that guy and just kind of sits on him so he can't make the play.
It's kind of like a Brook Lopez moving screen there. I like it.
Yeah, right here, 11. See, he sits on him and then holds him off so that we can get that pass to Wicks. Now, why you don't run this play more often, I don't know. Plus, Tucker Kraft's open here too. This is we got 2 guys open on this play. That's some good stuff. And then you're going to watch Tay Wicks break some tackles and get a bunch of yards after it. So that's beautiful. He's the only guy on this team that can break tackles. Look at that. Boom, boom, boom. He's got another 5, 6, 7 more yards. It takes like 4 or 5 freaking Tampa Bay Buccaneers just to tackle him. That's some beautiful, beautiful stuff. So, and then we got the pocket. We actually have a good pass protection on this play, which didn't always happen in this game. We also got Sean Ryan in there picking up the stunt. Sean Ryan pick up the stunt. So that's positive. What do you think about that? Sean Ryan pick up stunt, Jace. That's good
I like
stuff.
it. Sean Ryan's been doing pretty good. And Aaron Jones back on the field. Amazing. I mean, he didn't look like he was injured there running after that play.
Yeah, we're not going to talk about that.
Well, eventually we have to, because I was just blown away by his usage in this game.
All right. First of all, what I want to talk about is this is a red zone play. It's 3rd down. This is the 3rd and long touchdown. And on this play, we got Wicks on the top of the screen, double teamed. We got Tucker Kraft coming across. That's where the ball should go. But we do have 31 who maybe can make a play on the ball, so it'd be tough. But Tucker Kraft is really where we are looking at, where he should probably throw the ball to. And maybe Romeo Doubs, if he's coming across the middle behind Tucker Kraft, that would be a good spot too, like right here in the end zone at about the end. If this, I can't remember what this play is, but if that's where he's supposed to go, that's a great play. But we got guys covered. Heath is covered one-on-one here. And then we got running back covered down with 2 guys on the bottom. Okay, but let's take a look what happens here. We got grabbing up here in the end zone. We got grabbing here. I said before the game I was worried about Tampa Bay grabbing our guys, right? Well, this play is Tampa Bay grabbing our guys.
You did say that, yeah.
So if Tampa Bay's doing it, why aren't our guys doing it on defense? They're not calling it.
Because our guys aren't close enough to them to grab them even?
Usually. That could be it. But if you look here, Jordan Love's got nowhere to go. And then if you look at the pocket here, he's trying to squeeze through the middle. He's getting sandwiched by a couple guys. And he squeezes out. This is when he finds Jaden Reed with that killer toe tap and touchdown. Probably the best play of the game. Amazing throw. Amazing catch. Amazing catch. Like I thought that was not a catch at first when I first saw it because his feet both jumped in the air and I was like, he didn't catch that. What the heck did they call a touchdown for? And then when you watch it on the replay and you see that he toe tapped before he even caught the ball, that was amazing. Amazingly beautiful.
The only thing I would have liked, he could have extended his arms out to catch it and caught it a little earlier, but he let it come all the way into him, which made it that much even harder. But he did it. So give him credit. I mean, Jordan Love has some athleticism, man, and he can do some stuff in that regard.
Look at that.
That's great.
That's where he catches it straight up.
Yep.
Making sure. Well, the reason why he probably doesn't catch it out is to make sure that there's no doubts that, and he's probably worried about his feet right now. So he's like, let's body catch this thing, make sure it's not going anywhere, and keep my feet in bounds. And just, I mean, amazing catch.
Yeah, it was awesome. It was
awesome
a huge play too. It
awesome
just
play.
Like that was going to do something for the team. Oh,
we got Bakered. I said we were going to get Bakered. I said, I'm afraid we're going to get Bakered because Baker is the kind of guy. He just does stuff, right? He just does crazy stuff. Now we're going to start off with the first play of the game that Baker was not good on. And we're going to find out why it happened because Kingsley Enagbare gets past him. Okay, if you look here, the ball should be thrown right now. If you look at 88 across the middle of the field.
He's wide open.
That's where the ball should go. And Baker does not pull the trigger. And he looks like he's looking at it. Or maybe he's looking over here. But that's where he should have. It's obvious because here you got 37 covering nobody. And this is that 3 deep zone that Joe Barry loves to run. And it cost us repeatedly in this game. But this was early on in the game, and Baker did not throw the ball into a wide open guy. And this is the only time he did that the whole game. After this, he never took a play off. Never once. And that's, you're going to see on the next bunch of plays how amazing he was, really. But also, Kingsley Enagbare made a great play on that. Now we're going to watch Baker. Let's watch these windows that he's got to throw into.
You throw it in there.
You know why he's throwing this ball in here?
Because
you got Preston Smith over in the coverage here, DeVondre Campbell here. You think he's worried about either of those 2 guys to make a play? Nope.
Clearly not.
This is a throw and a window. That's Baker just being Baker, man. That's just Baker being Baker. Perfect pass, right in stride, run after the catch for another 5, 6, 7, 10 yards.
Shockingly, Campbell and Preston do not make the tackle there either. Rudy Ford has the tackle.
Not surprised at all. Now let's watch another amazing Baker pass. You're looking at this, you're like, wait a minute, where's he throwing this ball? He could be throwing it here because this guy is wide open. He's not throwing it there. He could be throwing up to odd 88 over here at about the 45-yard line. He's open.
Yeah.
Baker's crazy, man. He sees Keyshawn Nixon here. He sees Rudy Ford here. He sees Quay Walker here. He's throwing to Godwin. Godwin is tripled by 3 guys. But Baker is so not concerned at all about Quay Walker or Keyshawn Nixon, for that matter, that he's got good arm strength and accuracy. He's like, I don't care. I'm chucking it in there. Oh, amazing pass.
Quay. Come on, Quay.
Have you ever seen a pass like that from Jordan Love? No, but all I hear is Baker Mayfield sucks. Now, I've repeatedly said Baker Mayfield is a top 10 quarterback. I've said it on this channel for 3 years. And these are the reasons why. Sometimes he takes chances and gets picked. But he's a lot like Brett Favre, except even more accurate. And he's only like 6 feet tall, so he can't even barely see over the top of the offensive line, but he still makes that shot. And here's the thing that bothers me. Keyshawn's trying. He's just a short guy. Quay Walker, look at where he's looking now. He's not looking at the ball. He's looking at the receiver. If he would have kept his eyes on the ball the whole time, he probably would have picked this ball off. He's closer to the ball
than Godwin is, yeah.
Than Godwin is. or at least got his hand on it, but he wasn't looking at the ball. He was looking at where the pass was going. Just watch Quay Walker's eyes on this.
He's been so disappointing. I don't know what's going on.
He sees him throw it, and then look at where his head goes. His head goes immediately to the. It's just, I don't know.
He's also not getting a lot of tackles, Ben. It's really disappointing. Like, I don't know what's going on with Quay Walker, but it's so different than what we saw a year ago. Is this Campbell attitude and whatever? It was supposed to be like his mentor leader. Is he that impacting him? Is it because they tuned him down from his ejections last year and to be like, you got to keep your head about you? I don't know, but it's not working, whatever Quay Walker's doing right now.
So the Packers tried playing zone, and they're still kind of playing zone.
Is he throwing it to the right there?
So here's what he's looking at.
Who's he throwing it to on this one?
Well, you got Keyshawn Nixon here in the slot, right? DeVondre Campbell, and then Quay's over here. You got your corner. Oh, no, that's not Quay. That's Quay's at the line of scrimmage. This is Owens at just behind Preston Smith is Jonathan Owens. So Rudy Ford's your deep safety. You got, I think this is Valentine on top. Maybe it's Stokes. I don't know. And then Valentine on the bottom. And when he goes back, Keyshawn Nixon, for some reason, jumps forward. I'm assuming he's got the coverage with the running back, I'm guessing. Quay Walker does the delayed, maybe he's backing up now. I don't know quite what he's doing, but he's definitely not in the play at all because there's no receiver over here, really. Oh, yeah, the tight end's coming across this way. But there's 1, 2, 3, 4 guys over here. And we only got 3 guys to cover him. So Campbell lets him go, and Rudy Ford's got to take him. And that leaves Campbell and Nixon, who's Nixon's got to worry about the running back coming down here, wide receiver coming down here. And Baker's like, what's that? DeVondre Campbell? I'm not worried about him. I'm going to throw a touchdown. Because Rudy Ford overruns it. And you're saying to yourself, wait a minute, what happened there? How the heck did he take that all the way to the end zone? Well,
if he didn't throw that, Carrington Valentine was beat bad on that play too.
Yeah, but let's watch good old DeVondre Campbell, who, doesn't want to play if he's not 100% apparently. And you're going to see the ball's in the air. Like any other linebacker should be able to run and make this play and get an interception. And I know this is half speed.
Or at least knock it down.
But he doesn't even get to the ball. He's too slow to get to the ball.
Just a step late all game long.
And he leaves his feet. I don't know. I don't know what to tell you. So he could say on Twitter all he wants about how he's not going to play when he's injured. I think it's good. I don't want to see him out there.
I think I'd rather see Eric Wilson out there.
Eric Wilson, for sure, in coverage over him any day of the week.
And for tackling. He attacks plays at least.
But that was a great pass by Baker.
Remember that 4th down last week on the one stop they got? Eric Wilson was in on that play, and he was one of the guys that attacked the damn play.
And now here we are again with this Joe Barry 3 deep coverage, where your corners go into the deep zone on the outsides. Rudy Ford is super deep.
I mean, why is the safety so far back? Like, what? I don't know. What are we doing? Know.
And then you got these 3 guys here, and Quay Walker's right there. He's right there. He's looking at the ball, but he's not fast enough to get over and make the play. Like, these guys are sitting in their zones, but they're not like watching where the receivers are coming from or going to.
Yep.
They don't cover the receivers when they come into their zone. They just watch them go through. And I mean, he's just not, and Baker made a good throw. He threw to the inside shoulder on that tight end. He threw away from Quay Walker. And you'll see it from the other angle of how a good pass it was by Baker. So I'm not saying like Quay Walker probably could have made a play on this. I just want to show everybody, Baker Mayfield played effing amazing in this game. His accuracy was great. His decision making was pretty good, but more than importantly, his aggressiveness was good. Look at it, inside shoulder, away from Quay Walker. Smart move, good pass, good catch, 20-yard gain. And that 3 deep zone is hurting us on a lot of other plays I'll show later on when guys get wide open. Now they're playing a Tampa 2. So we got 2 deep safeties because they got so far to go. The first down is the 43-yard line here, right? We got these 3 guys who are sitting at the 45, way down here. And there's all this space, all this grass behind them. And look, Baker's already cocking his arm, ready to throw his ball.
Why is the protection also so good? Like, come on.
Well,
damn.
I don't know about that.
There's no push in the middle there. There's nobody. But come on.
Where do you think Baker's throwing this ball based on this coverage? Where do you think? Jason, are you there? Are you muted?
Sorry, he sees DeVondre Campbell right here by around the 45 on the bottom. Right. He's like, I'm going to throw it there.
He's throwing it to the G because DeVondre Campbell, for some unknown reason, is way out here. Now, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We have 2 guys here, Quay Walker and Keyshawn Nixon, standing next to each other. When there's only 2 receivers on this side of the field. The bottom side of the there's 3 receivers, and there's only 2 guys down here.
I'm not good at math, but that doesn't.
I don't quite understand. Like this guy, if Baker could throw here, he's wide open at the bottom of the screen. He could, that's for sure wide open. And so DeVondre Campbell is kind of caught in a hard place here. He's got to look out for this guy on the outside. He's got to look out for the guy coming on the inside because Quay Walker is so far over this way. He should be more in the middle of the field, but he wouldn't get there anyway. We've already shown that earlier in the video. But Baker's going to throw his ball right about the 50-yard line on the G. It's going to be a perfect pass. And this was after a sack, and they got all the yardage back and then some to get a first down. So it didn't even matter if they got sacked because, that's the thing. We had 5 sacks in this game, but as soon as we got a sack, the very next play
didn't matter.
Boom, big, huge play. Baker Mayfield reading the defense.
Is this that play again?
Yeah, it's that play again.
Oh, you probably can't see it from this angle, but the end of that play was also really disturbing. It's Chris Godwin. He's not a big guy, but did anybody else notice how passively all those guys went to tackle him? Like, go tackle him. Rudy Ford, they're all just waiting. They're like, oh, okay. Oh, well, we'll just.
Here's the one that bothers me the most.
They're just not aggressive.
Watch Quay Walker. Watch Quay Walker on this. Look at him.
Yeah. Oh, well, and Campbell's the same way. Like, what? Other teams, you see guys like hurt their teammate because they're so aggressive flying in on a guy like that. Yeah. Maybe you pop them hard and knock the ball out. Like, it's a mentality. I don't know. I raised this question, Ben, before about the Packer defense, and we'll talk about it once we stop with the video. But okay, keep going.
Okay, here's the Tampa 2 defense now. So he tried the 3 deep defense, and we got taken advantage of, right? So then we switch to the Tampa 2. So you got 2 deep. This isn't even Tampa 2 because we don't have a linebacker going deep, right? We got 2 safeties deep. This is a 2 deep safety. This is cover 4. So you got your corner going deep. You got your other corner going deep. You got both safeties deep. Then you got these 3 linebackers, and one of them is Preston Smith for some dumb reason, all going into this middle zone where the first down marker is. And if you look, Mike Evans is wide open. The first down marker is right here. It's the freaking 17-yard line. Like, Baker could throw it there if he wanted, but he's like, nah, I'm going for the touchdown. These guys suck because there's no depth. Like, they go into their zone. They don't read what's going on and behind them. Once a guy goes past them, they ignore him. But our safeties are so far deep, they can't come up and make a play on a ball. And look at all this open field here. And Baker's cocked and ready to go because he knows, these 2 linebackers are not going to get there. I'm going to chuck it right here at about the freaking 8-yard line. He's going to catch it, and he doesn't get in the end zone, but he almost does. Then they score on the next play, and it doesn't matter. And there you go, tight end, right in the middle of the field. Nobody can touch him. He's down at the 1-yard line.
Middle of the field. I like that.
So when they did 3 deep zone, they got schooled by passes in the seam. When they did 4 deep zone, they got schooled with passes right down the post, right in the middle. They didn't run a post, like the tight end came from the outside and then did an in cut, but they still attacked the same part of the field, in between the safeties, behind the linebackers, because the Packers don't adjust and they don't cover when guys come in their zone.
And they all just communicated on that O-line. They all knew what the hell was going on. Oh, Campbell, just a fingertip and step late again. Not a surprise.
Well, it's nothing new.
Wow.
And then I got one more play here. One more Baker being Baker. Us getting Bakered. We got a three down lineman. Oh no, Preston Smith standing up. We only got 4.
Oh, that's the worst.
Now look at this. It's 3rd down. Okay.
Yeah.
And here's the thing. Here's the funny part about this. Baker could be throwing. He could throw this deep at the bottom of your screen. 19 is wide ass open. If he wanted to throw a deep goal route, he could throw the goal route to the top of the screen for a touchdown, probably, because I don't think the safety, who's freaking 30 yards, 40 yards back from the line of scrimmage. Like, let's see. Where is this? Let's see. Where did the ball start? Right here, 30-yard line. So 10, 20, 30 yards deep on 3rd and 4. Both of our safeties are 30 and 25 yards deep on 3rd and 4. Baker could have easily. They're so far deep they can't cover anything. This is just dumb.
That's the classic. Seriously, where I ask myself that question numerous times watching Packer games. Are we trying to stop them from getting the first down on this play, or are we just trying to stop them from getting a touchdown on this play? And it happens on 3rd down all the time. And you're just, why don't you want to stop them from getting a first down? Like, call it, play it to stop them from getting a first down. It makes me nuts.
Here's the funny thing. Baker didn't go for the gutso here. It didn't go for the gutso here. He went to Godwin, who's covered by Campbell and Walker, and he has zero fear that they're going to make a play on this ball. Zero fear. Tight coverage, don't matter. Zero fear. He knows they're not going to make a play on the ball. And here's Kenny Clark, Rashawn Gary coming out of the game on 3rd, because they work so hard on 3rd down.
Yeah, they're getting a rest. They get a rest. Get the other guys in there.
Same play, different angle. I mean, Baker could have ran for that first down if he wanted, because of the freaking pass rush lanes. I mean, Wyatt went all the way to the outside like a ding dong. But that's just Bakered us, man. Baker took passes that Jordan Love won't take. And most quarterbacks probably don't want to take, like the tight windows into the middle of the field where the linebackers are. Like Aaron Rodgers, none of those, every pass I just showed you, Aaron Rodgers would never throw any of those. Not a single one of them. At least not now in his, maybe back in the day he would have. But Baker, we got Bakered in this game. He went after us. He was accurate. He attacked. He attacked the middle of the field. He went after our linebackers because he knew they couldn't cover. He knew they were passive, and he knew they wouldn't get to the ball. And that's how drives continued. That's how they scored points. And that's the problem with the defense. Now, having a safety, both of your safeties, 25 and 30 yards deep on 3rd and 4, that's a fireable offense on Joe Barry. I'm not going to deny that to anybody. That is fucking stupid. 3rd and 4, with the game on the line, you got guys 30 yards off the line of scrimmage on 3rd and 4. I'm sorry. It's dumb. It's just dumb. And he should be fired. Matt LaFleur should be looking at this video and being like, what are we doing? Like, because you're so far back, you can't even like get into a play. Like if a guy misses a tackle, he's going to get 20 yards because it's going to take you 10 to run up there to freaking tackle him.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's ridiculous. That's why drives continue against us when they do shit like that. It needs to end.
I mean,
Joe Barry, he's got to be gone.
The question should just be asked, what are we trying to stop on this play?
Nothing, apparently.
Exactly. I mean, are we not calling defenses to try to stop the other team from getting a first down, or what are we doing? It's mind-boggling. A lot of great comments here. Lee showed up. Lee showed up. And he was like, let's see. JJ said before that Baker only had 50% passing rating against Atlanta the week before. Also, if you happen to catch the Giants game, who only scored 6 points against the Saints, and Tommy DeVito got sacked 7 times again. So apparently it's only the Packers that can't sack the guy. The Saints brought a bunch of extra guys and brought a bunch of pressure against him, and he freaked out and had nowhere to go and then went down. But the Packers continually rushed 4 guys and gave him open lanes, and then he ran around and did some stuff. God. Corey points out that Baker also wasn't afraid to throw in the middle because his receivers wouldn't be in danger because the Packers defenders do not have the gumption to want to hit someone, let alone hard. And that is the thing. That's
question.
What
Mike Daniels said.
Well, good. What did Mike Daniels say? Because maybe we are in lockstep here. I don't know.
Mike Daniels on Twitter said that he said it's been 20 years of this where the Packers, and he said, to be straight honest, he said,
even when he was there?
No, he said what he said was
he tried to toughen him up.
He said that the team doesn't want players who have an attitude. That's what he said. And that's why he didn't say that's why they got rid of me, but they did get rid of him because he was a little more aggressive and he kind of talked smack and he got fired up. And he said on his Twitter account, he was like, yeah, I mean, it's been like this for 10 years because they don't want guys like that on the team. They want guys who are good guys who show up and do their thing and whatever. But here's the problem. On defense, you need guys who want to go out there and smack somebody. And I don't know if Quay Walker's playing different because he's worried about getting in trouble, getting in a fight, and getting kicked out of games and all this stuff because people know that he did that last year. Maybe that's why he's not as aggressive. I don't know.
I don't know either, but
he's not as good as he was last year. And that's just the truth.
He was supposed to take a jump, and instead he's regressing. Campbell's not aggressive. Freaking, I at this point, I know Quay Walker is more talented, but at this point, I'd rather see McDuffie and Eric Wilson in there.
Well, I just showed you Baker, like he was not afraid at all. If this was any other team, because if this was the Steelers linebackers or just anybody, really, the Bears, anybody, you can't throw those balls. They'll jump it and at least knock it down. They'll read the pass and get to the passing lane and knock it down. Our guys are so passive and they're so their reaction skills. Like it takes them a second to realize what's going on, where the pass is going to. And even though the guy is like 2 feet from them, they don't get over there to get in the passing lane and knock the ball down, even though they're in position. So that's the other problem that it kind of bothers me.
Well, that's the part LaFleur is talking about, right? When they're talking about firing Joe Barry, and he's like, well, guys are in the position. It's frustrating to watch the tape and see guys, the play called, and they're not in the right spot or they're not getting to the spot they need to get to.
Well, and sometimes it's true. They were in the right. And sometimes they were in stupid spots, like I just showed, where they were 30 yards back on 3rd and 4. But what I'm saying is, like, there were multiple times where the linebackers are in a position where they can make a play if they just have their heads on and they look for where the player is or where the ball's going to or react to things as it's coming to them. And I don't know what to say because they can't play man, because I'm going to show you some stuff later about them playing man. If you want to watch that, I'll get that ready. And then I've also got some video of them miscommunicating where guys just aren't getting into the zone. Like they just don't back up. So then maybe that was early in the game. So maybe later in the game, Joe Barry was like, these guys are idiots. I got to tell them to sit back there because they won't get back otherwise. I don't know.
It was the big return of Eric Stokes in this game, Ben.
Well, he was hurt, and I'm not going to get on him.
I don't want to.
He got beat that one time really bad, where Mike Evans was
like beat a couple times,
5 yards away from him. But
in what? In having to do what we said he can't do. Right? They ran across the field. They made him change direction, and he can't do it. What I'm getting at here, look, people want to say the cornerbacks are playing terrible, but we're not gonna. I even heard from Eric Stokes is mean to put him in that group because he just got back from injury. How long has he been waiting to get back from injury? Okay, come on. We know he's not back unless he's 100%, because that's what they do with a bunch of these guys, baby them until they're 100% plus to get them back on the field, which is not the way football works.
Well, you can't win games. Well, I mean, obviously, I guess maybe it's good that they don't have DeVondre Campbell in at 100% because he sucks.
Right, but what I'm going to say to you is this. Did the Rasul Douglas trade, I mean, was Rasul holding some of this stuff together for that defensive back room? Was he holding some of these things together for the defense? And I know, like, within a couple of weeks after the trade, everybody's excited to see Carrington Valentine. He did a couple of good things. Oh, wow. And he did one good thing in this game and celebrated that play like he was making plays left and right.
And it was technically pass interference because he grabbed him around the waist before he made the breakup, but whatever.
Right. But all the other plays, he was getting his ass whipped, but he's like celebrating that play like he's some big shot. And all I'm saying
he's starting
is
to rub me the wrong way.
The Rasul Douglas trade, which we freaked out about because we knew it was a terrible trade and a bad move and going to hurt this team, is like everybody was kind of like, oh, it's okay. See, Carrington's great. And this, no, like you took a proven commodity, good, smart, intelligent, hardworking, available, tough player, leader, and shipped him away. And now you got all this. I don't know. And what has it done to some of the guys in the locker room? Is there more fracturing than we thought? Like, what the hell is going on?
Well, that's what Lee's wondering about. His quote here, he's wondering about the morale of the team.
Yeah.
And he wonders how the defense is feeling. I'll say this. If you saw Rashawn Gary's interview after the game, he stayed positive. He tried to keep it upbeat. And to be honest, he's the last guy we got left who I believe in, who to at least lead these guys. And hopefully he can keep doing it, but I don't know. It seems like it's falling apart, which is crazy. 2 weeks ago, they were freaking unstoppable. They were doing crazy things. They were awesome. They were making plays. And like, I'll say this. Baker took shots. Like, he was going into tight windows where most quarterbacks would not do that. And he's an aggressive guy. So if we played somebody else, they might not have thrown those passes. Because it was tight. I mean, the guy was in the spot. Like, most people would look at that. Like, Jordan Love would look at that and be like, I'm not throwing it there. And Baker just went for it.
Lee says, I told you, Green Bay tames its players. And that was the other thing. Do they just look for the tame guys like you talked about, like Mike Daniels talked about? Yeah. Free agents come in, they look good for a bit, then they ball out and then fall in line. Corey points out, stop drafting guys with high RAS and start drafting
well, that's what Goody does.
That's all they do. They're taking swings at, Lucas Van Ness, case in point, right? Like, they didn't go into this season wanting or going into that draft thinking they should draft an edge rusher, but he just couldn't handle it. He's tall and he looks great in a t-shirt and shorts, and he's got speed and all this. Like, how much impact is that? It's not resulting in anything. And it's at a position you didn't really need a guy, because Enigbari is pretty damn good, needs to be on the field more. Like, what are we doing? And that's exactly why all the people...
Enigbari is not a RAS score guy.
I know, but that's exactly why, because he's a mid-round pick. Like, mid-round and lower, then they'll draft football players. And that's why a bunch of those guys end up being good football players for the team. But that's exactly why I want this team to make the playoffs, and I don't want a better draft pick, because the higher that pick is, the more Goody's going to be tempted to try to draft the next superstar athlete at a premium position. He's not going to look at what the team needs. He's not going to look at what the best football players on the board, the guys that can help the team right away. He's going to look at, can I hit on this athletic freak? And if he becomes the guy we think he can, then I'm going to be a genius for drafting the next amazing player at that premium position. That's the way he thinks, over and over and over. And it's screwing this team up, because we have too many holes, because that's all we got is athletes and not enough football players. What do you got for video? I'll pull it up.
All right, we're up.
Yep.
All right, so here's a concept that we got bid on against the Lions, and I'm going to show that play right after this. And we've tried to fix it by now doing a quarters defense with 4 deep guys. And it still doesn't work. So you're going to see one of the Tampa Bay receivers is going to go deep. The other one is going to do a deep out about 15 yards, and then you're going to see a guy in the flat. So the guy in the flat's going to freeze whoever the flat defender is right here. I think it's Keyshawn Nixon. And then your safety on top is Owens, who should carry over the top with the deep player. But Valentine goes deep with the receiver as well and vacates this area, which he should not do. Once the receiver gets past him, he's got to keep his eyes open and cover the guy who's coming into his zone, which would be this deep fourth. And if this guy goes past, it's Owens' responsibility to take him, but Valentine takes the receiver as well, which is a miscommunication. And you're going to see it here. So, all right. So right now, Baker is already ready to throw his ball because he understands what the Packers do. And look at this. This is 2nd and what? 25? I don't even know. That's more than 25. Holy crap. 2nd and 27. 2nd, 27.
I just want you to look around the 40-yard line marker on the bottom. Mike Evans just slightly changed direction. Look how far Eric Stokes is behind him right now. I'm just saying, dude, he's a first-round pick. He's been waiting forever to, and you and I both said it. He's probably the most likable corner they have on the team left. Right?
Yeah,
He's actually not
much.
a douchebag. He seems like he's a decent kid, but he has limitations and should never have been a first round pick. And here he is back on the field, and he's not performing either, and he's not going to perform ever. So anyway, continue on.
So what I'm showing is the Packers there's 4 defenders here for these 3 players. But because it's zone and they don't understand what their job assignments are, like Campbell should carry with him. Or if these two should switch, he should go back and Campbell should come forward and take the slot. But there's 2 guys here. So they both got to look out for these 2 guys. Right? So these 2 guys are frozen because of these 2 players. And then these 2 guys should be covered by these 2 guys. But there's a miscommunication with these 2 where they both take the deep player, and then Godwin is going to come across the middle, and Baker's already ready to throw right now because he knows Valentine's going to go deep because that's what the Packers do.
I mean, look at this play though. Look, I mean, they have so many options.
Right.
They had a guy sitting there as a safety valve in the flat. They had another guy just slightly upfield from him. Like, you could throw to any of those guys and it's going to be a positive play. And I know it's, down a distance that's forever, but still the Packers have so many guys so far away. You could easily get 15 yards here by throwing it short.
And they also understand that the Packers go in about 10-yard deep zone in the middle, and they go to a 20-yard, 15 to 20-yard deep zone, or 20 to whatever yard deep zone after that. And they do it constantly. So they run routes that attack the spots between that. They attack here at the 15-yard marker. They attack here at the 25-yard marker. They attack at the 5-yard marker because that's where the zones are based on what the Packers do on defense every single play, every single time they play zone. So they're attacking all these different levels at 4 different spots at the exact same point of the field. Okay? Genius. And Baker knows it's going to be open. He throws it. It's a completed pass on 2nd and freaking 27, and they get 20 yards back. I mean, what are we doing? That's a time where you play man coverage. Okay, now this is earlier in the year, and this is showing you how they adjusted at least. Because back against the Lions earlier in the year, it's the same concept against them, and all they had was one guy. They had just the poor corner in the 3 deep zone, right? So the safety has got to go way back here because he doesn't know what's going on, even though if you would look and see there's nobody coming out here, he should really not be having his body turned this way. It should be turned that way. But he's making sure that he can come back and worry about it, right? McDuffie goes to the flat. Same type of thing. We got one guy going deep. We're going to have another guy doing a 15-yard out. We're going to have a guy in the flat, which freezes McDuffie. He can't get back deep enough. And the corner goes too far back because he has to worry about this deep wide receiver. And then Sam Laporte is wide open. And the Chiefs did this to us too. And I'm pretty sure the Giants could have done it to us if they would have, but they just didn't need to because DeVito just ran all over us instead. So at least we adjusted. Instead of having 3 guys over there, we tried to have 4 guys over there to cover 3 guys, but it didn't matter because we still don't understand zone assignments and we don't know what's going to happen when guys come in. Now let's take a look at a Packer play that's kind of a similar design, but not really. Okay, so what we're looking at is 7-man protection, okay, on 1st and 10, I think. On 1st and 10.
Got somebody beat already, it looks like, on the inside.
Yeah. And we got one receiver just running straight in. They're playing the same type of zone as we are, right? They're playing this 3 deep zone. Okay. We got Bo Melton, who is on a sprint across the field, and he's attacking. And it would be nice if he would be attacking to the outside like this against the 3 deep zone. If he had the ability to change his route, like if it switched to a 3 deep to go deep and cut back to the outside, because there's no way 35 would get there, and Jordan Love could throw it there, and it'd be an awesome pass. Super deep. However, he just runs the route that's called, which is run straight right into this safety zone. Top of the screen, this receiver just runs straight. And then Tucker Kraft runs into a double team here. That's only 5 yards downfield. Now, where did the Tampa Bay Buccaneers attack? They knew that in this type of zone, the Buccaneers attacked the 2nd level here. Behind, and they had another guy come in across here. What if Bo Melton would have came around like this and then would have cut across the middle here?
Yeah, nice
right
in-cut
behind the
there.
linebackers,
Right.
not going straight down the field and straight down the field, and then here double teamed and covered, and everybody's covered. It's a dumb play.
Wow,
And look,
that
they
is
just keep
stupid.
running straight. On
Yeah.
1st and 10, what are we doing? We're just running 30 yards downfield. Two guys streaking 30 yards downfield and one tight end, and there's no other options. Everybody else stayed in to pass protect.
It's
It's
just
just
dumb.
stupid. The routes don't work together. It's just run deep and hope to God that you can get open, I guess, or just I don't know. You're running
I
right into
mean,
their coverage
look at all of the green grass there to
everywhere.
maneuver. Like you
Yes.
just cut. I don't know how many times we've said it. Like when you change direction as a receiver, when you make your receivers change direction, they're so much more difficult to cover. When you just have them run straight, it's easy to cover them. Like it's just stupid. God. Some really good comments. We'll get to those in a second. We got some stuff coming up here.
And on this protection, why would they have Runyon come all the way across the field like this?
Oh,
When they're
Rasheed
they're
Walker's doing the old Billy Turner move here. That's good. Good, good.
well, that's the problem. Is guess who gets the pressure on this? Zero, because Walker can't get over there because he's worried about helping out this mass of idiots. And then Ben Sims is just sitting here doing nothing, and Aaron Jones is helping protect instead of going out in the pass pattern. And Aaron Jones has got to pick up 0 because Walker couldn't. But Walker has committed to 0, so guess who comes off him is
So
Levante David.
he doesn't block that guy either.
Right. And then David comes up the middle, or this guy, 94, and Love's got nowhere to go.
No time.
Now, here's another genius play by Matt LaFleur. Actually, this was a bad. I blame this one on Jordan Love. But here's another first down, I think, or second down, or whatever. It's a long down marker. And you got 3 guys coming across on the field here, right? This would be beautiful. You go, look at this. There's a big hole right here.
Yeah.
There should be a guy. One of these two should just cut right here. Just cut here. This guy goes straight. This guy cut right behind him. Just sit here. And Jordan Love throw it to him, right? Right past the first down marker. Perfect pass. Perfect play.
Yeah, I'd like
Beautiful.
that.
But instead, the inside guy goes straight, which doesn't help anybody, right?
Yep.
If this guy goes deep and this guy cuts in, that helps this guy get open because this safety and this corner have to worry about this guy going deep, which gives the open hole behind the linebacker here. But what they do is he runs all the way across the field into where these 2 guys are coming, running deep with him. And then he's going deep. And what you're going to see is at the top of the screen, he's going to finally come around. Well, it takes forever for this to happen. Plus, down here, you got Tucker Kraft and Aaron Jones basically in the same spot. And Jordan Love, now this could be a miscommunication. I don't know. I would have loved to have seen Love throw the ball right here. Because I think we could have Wicks or whoever this is, this might be 11, coming across and catching it right here. Right at the ball, like just behind the 40-yard line when he's coming across the middle. Look at all this open space here. Now, I know this corner might be able to make a move there. But I don't think he would break up the pass or intercept it if he threw it deep enough. And here he's throwing to Aaron Jones. And I don't know why these 2 guys are so close. This is probably a miscommunication or something dumb. But to attack this, what would have been better was to have Tucker Kraft go, if you're not going to do this, have Tucker Kraft go a little bit deeper and Jones come across and make this guy decide, are you going to cover Aaron Jones or are you going to cover Kraft? And wherever this guy goes, you throw to the other guy. But they're both kind of running to the same spot. They're about 3 yards apart, which does neither of them good. Aaron Jones catches the ball and gets tackled right away. It's just dumb. Second down, 2nd and 10. And yeah, we got 5 yards on the play, so it's not like terrible, right?
Yeah.
But there's so much more that could have been happening there.
Yeah.
Like we either attack 5 yards downfield or 20 yards downfield. We never attack the 15-yard marker. We never attack 10 yards downfield. You know what I mean? We don't put pressure on 1 or 2 defenders to make a decision because we put 4 guys in a row like we showed earlier with Tampa Bay. We just attack the same spots. Like, look at those. Why are they so close together? I'm sure somebody screwed this up, right? What do you think? Somebody had to have screwed that up. Tucker Kraft must
I
have
mean,
ran
I would
around
hope
or
so. I hope that's the case, but I don't know. I mean, look, we watch other teams do it all the time. And you look at, so let's say there's 7 guys in coverage. In general, they're going to balance out their coverage, right? So if you run a bunch of guys in one spot and make defenders make a decision on who they're going to commit to. And then you basically say number one, you make the read easy for the quarterback. Cause you're like, okay, we're going to flood this defender. We're going to attack this defender. When he makes his choice, you throw to the other guy, right? That's simple. And it would work.
That's
and it
that easy.
And we see that other teams do it to the Packers all the time. Rudy Ford was put in that position a couple times in this game, right? Where he's sitting back there.
We're going to get there.
He's like, what do I do? And you can't do anything. So, but other teams do that to the Packers all the time, and they don't seem to do that to the teams they're playing. And it makes no sense. Again, because you can have a bunch of guys occupying space because they're going to cover the whole field generally, right? Unless it's man. But in zones, they're going to cover the whole field. So especially in zone, attack a spot of the zone, make that player commit to something and throw to the open guy. It's simple, it's easy, and it works.
And the other thing is, okay, so now I'm going to show you the next play here is the Packers switched to man. They just gave up a big play in zone. This was the one where, it was earlier. I showed a different video, but they got down to the 1 yard line with tight end where Baker threw it over the top of the linebackers, whatever. And this is the Packers are playing man coverage. And the reason why I'm showing it is because it's the Y banana play, right? Where the fullback sneaks out in here. And instead of playing zone, the Packers are playing man. So Quay Walker has to fight through the tight end to get to, or the wide receiver who's going to come across like this. Because Gary's not worried at all. And Gary is not going to pitch and get his hands on the receiver or get his hands on the tight end at all to mess with him, right? Because he doesn't. He just wants to go to get the quarterback. So he just lets him get a free release, which screws up everything. And you're going to see here, Valentine has the wide receiver, and the tight end goes across, takes Owens out, which actually takes Valentine out. But because it's in man, Campbell is coming across to cover the running back. So Baker can't throw it to 14, who he probably wants to throw to. And Gary is hitting the tight end, but all he wants is the sack. Now, if this was TJ Watt, he would probably hit the tight end and then float with him, right? And stay with him for a while. But Gary just lets him go. Quay Walker can't get through the wide receiver. And of course, the fullback is wide open for the catch. Because Gary said, I'm going for the quarterback. Doesn't worry about the receiver, which is dumb.
That's a big boy out there, too.
And next thing you know, touchdown.
Because Quay Walker hit that dude hard, but damn.
He did. Quay Walker did all he could. He can't run through another player to get there. And it's the type of stuff I wish Rashawn Gary would use his head a little bit.
Well, also, why are you playing man here? It makes it way harder, right?
I know. It's dumb, but they're doing it probably because if they played zone and nobody would cover anybody, and it'd be even easier, right?
I mean, especially when you have two backs, so you got your linebackers got to fight through all that mess to get there. I don't know.
Now, I don't know why I have so many offensive plays on here. This is supposed to be a defensive video, but I did it here again. So let's see what I did, why I did this.
Comparison of how the Buccaneers cover this?
Yes, that's what it was.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay. All right.
That's why I did that. Okay. You're going to watch. There's going to be a tight end. The tight end and a wide receiver are going to cross each other about the middle of the field. Let's see if I can pause it right at the right time. Right here. So if you noticed, actually it's DeGuara and Ben Sims, I think, or maybe it's Tucker Kraft. They cross each other, and the linebacker and the corner switch positions or switch responsibilities, even though they're playing a zone. But it's kind of like a man zone because you're going to watch everybody else kind of cover their guys up with man. So watch it one more time. You're going to see, because here you got man coverage here. You got man coverage here, right? 54 is going over to the back. Man coverage with Romeo Dobbs coming across. You got man coverage with Heath. And then you see DeGuara coming across. And here, this linebacker is going to let Ben Sims go, and he takes DeGuara on the coverage. So these two guys are switching. So normally, if this was like the Packers, this guy would go deep here with this tight end, and then DeGuara would come across, and he'd be wide open here. But because the Tampa Bay is not stupid, these two guys switch who they're covering, and Jordan Love's got nowhere to go.
And Zach Tom is, you stuck with it. Good job, Zach Tom.
See? So here,
Yep.
So they did a switch, and I think he still could have thrown it here, but he's getting pressure, and he stepped up in the pocket, and now he's trying to throw to Ben Sims. And as we all know, Jordan Love can't throw to the left side of the field because he sucks, right. And it's a fucking shit-ass, terrible pass. That's not anywhere near the guy who's like 6'6" and can't freaking reach for it because it's a terrible pass. even though he's got way bigger height advantage on this corner.
Right.
So if he would have just kind of threw it up to him, it probably would have been a good play. But it just shows you how Tampa Bay is able to adjust and be in the best position because they understand, okay, I know where my help is. You got to take him. I'll take your guy. They switch it right here. You take him. I'm stitching. Boom. That puts pressure on Love. He doesn't realize it. He thinks he might be a little more open, and he's not. Terrible pass. Incomplete pass.
Yeah, guy's open.
Okay, now we got what the hell's going on out there. And this is the communication issues. This is where,
no,
guys, like, what are we doing here? I don't know.
That's why Matt LaFleur said Joe Barry shouldn't be fired, because it's more about communication issues.
Let's take a look at this. Rudy Ford is the only guy back here. Okay,
boy.
Jonathan Owens is the corner is deeper than Jonathan Owens is on this play. Now, maybe Owens is supposed to cover this running back out of the backfield. I don't know. Maybe beats me, possibly. But you got zone, and these guys don't go with them. They just let them go. Right? Quay Walker just lets them go. DeVondre Campbell just lets them go. Even though there's no players in front of them.
There's no one else to cover there.
Like there's no reason. Right. There's no reason. Maybe one guy, like if you had one guy who's going to spy on Baker, fine. But there's no reason to be standing here looking at the quarterback. If there's nobody in front of you, go with them. Like understand what's going on in front of you. Right? But they don't. They just stand there, which just takes them out of the play. And then you got Mike Evans who realizes this and he's like, oh, wait. There's only Rudy Ford back there. I'm just going to change my route because I think his route was supposed to go to the outside, and he changed it to the seam route. And then you got number 10 who's also doing a route over here like this. And Owens is down here, so there's nobody over here. So Rudy Ford is like, shit, what am I going to do? And he just does nothing.
Poor Rudy Ford.
Because he started to go with 10, and then he watched the ball go, and then by the time he gets over there, it's way too late. And you're like, Rudy Ford sucks. Really? Does Rudy Ford suck? No.
No, I'm not.
What the hell is he supposed to do?
Right.
Now, here's another. What the hell's going on out there? We got shallow crossers going across the field. And once again, it's kind of man. I don't know what's going on.
Gary beat his guy. He's got a beat on him, man.
Right. We got Gary winning. We got Preston winning. They're both going to go right past him. It's going to be awesome. And Beck here's going to step up perfectly because there's nobody here to stop him because Gary went around. Just like always, went too far past instead of keeping his passing lane, like we all know that he does. The other thing is this. It's man here. It's man here. It's man here. It's man here. We have a deep zone, and then we have a shallow zone here with Owens. And somehow, there's nobody that goes here, right? There's no one here at the top of the screen because the corner went with 10. So guess where Baker Mayfield throws the ball? Mike Evans comes right to that vacated area. And don't get me wrong.
You mean all those open spaces that we saw the Packers guys not run towards? The Buccaneers guys are running towards the open spaces? Oh, okay.
Right. And Rudy Ford is 25 yards deep, 30 yards deep. And there's no way he's going to, like, let's say Rudy Ford was only 20 yards deep, right? If he was only 20 yards deep, he could intercept this pass. But because they got him playing 30 yards deep, there's no way he can get there to make a play. And he's at last line of defense. It's freaking stupid. Before the ball's even snapped, look at where he is. And he goes backwards when the ball snaps. That's coaching. They're coaching him to do this. They're coaching him to run backwards 15 yards. Well, that's Jonathan Owens. That's not even Rudy Ford.
Right. That's Owens that time.
But I mean, what are we doing?
Right. Right.
When you're playing man coverage like that, like, I don't know.
Oh, just hold on. Just hold on 1 second, or you can let it run. It's the same play.
Yeah, it's the same play.
So, and Ford's not even in there. It's what's his name? The rookie Anthony Johnson Jr. and Owens in there at this point. But Gary and Preston, they both met in the backfield behind Baker Mayfield. But the point is, Matt LaFleur. I wonder. This is where it makes me wonder because guys were talking about this today. I think Andy Herman was on his show with some guy from Acme Packing, or I can't remember what his name is, Justice Makeda or something like that. And they were talking about how when he selected Joe Barry, Matt likes to run this type of defense or something. And how
the don't do anything defense?
I guess that he likes this type of, zone coverage. I don't know what they're supposed to do, but whatever kind of defense, I don't know. This is the kind of defense. That's why he defends it as well. when they talked to him about Barry and guys just not, and he's calling on his players and saying they're not, in the right spots and this and that. And it was interesting because they talked about, does Matt LaFleur, is this what he wants? And so I'm just kind of like, but then in the media, he talks about wanting to be more aggressive. And so I'm just really confused. I'm really confused about all of it, because why? There's no way a player is literally, as a safety, you're 20 yards away from any player and you're backing up. Like, that has to be what they're coaching you to do, right? It can't, that's not your natural instinct.
Nobody would ever do that.
So I just don't get it at all. Like, watching this stuff, I don't know. I don't get it, man. If
this is what they're coaching the NFL, then I don't want to watch it anymore, because it's dumb. I'm not, I'm like Rashawn Mendenhall says, I'm an average white guy. I shouldn't be talking about football, but here's the other thing that bothers me. What's the key on this play for DeVondre Campbell? Is he looking at this guy? I'm assuming this is his guy he's supposed to cover, right? If I was me, I'd be looking at here. I'd be looking at the tackles. I'd be looking at everything, right? Try to see what's going on. And as soon as I see this tackle right here go out, like right now, as soon as I see him running like this, I would be running as hard as I can.
No,
like, what is he looking at?
He's just trying to figure out, how can I get around that guy without, hurting anybody, or.
And also here,
that's the kind of person he is.
Keyshawn Nixon, attack. What are we doing?
I mean, that's the crazy part. I
expect it from Stokes.
With these plays is like, the Packers run these plays and guys are on that receiver.
As soon as they catch it, they're tackled. Yeah, almost immediately.
And they run these plays against the Packers defense, and look how far away. They're 5 yards away.
Campbell hasn't moved since the ball is now in the receiver's hands, and he still hasn't moved from where he was. At least Nixon went forward a little bit. But now if you look, his ass is back, which means he's on his heels. He's expecting to get blocked. He's not trying to outrun the block. He's expecting to be blocked instead of trying to attack and get past the block. And that's Keyshawn's fault. He should be attacking. Don't worry, this is a tight end. He's not the best blocker in the world. Fight through it, run through it, try to make a play. Now, he probably worried that he's got Campbell behind him and he knows that he's not going to make the tackle. And he's right. But he gets blocked out of the play because he was too passive. And Campbell is even further down because he got blocked. Now, Campbell makes a tackle.
Got a tackle, recorded tackle.
Once again, he got a tackle 12 yards downfield. And people used to make fun of Blake Martinez for that. And AJ Hawk, they were better than Campbell. And now I'm starting to wonder if they're maybe coached like this, right? Because we've had a long line of inside linebackers who just stand around and let a guy make a play in front of them, and then they tackle him. And if that's what we're going to coach our linebackers to do, I don't want to see it anymore.
Oh, my God.
I'm done. I'm done watching this shit.
I think it's when you watch other teams, if you watch other games, right, and you see how other linebackers, other teams play, how aggressively they attack plays, and then you compare that to what you see every week with the Packers, that's where it really jumps out at you. And that's what you should do.
This is the one that's the most egregious. I don't know if anybody's seen this. I want you to watch Rudy Ford up here. Watch Rudy Ford. Just watch him. He's telling everybody, what the are we doing, everybody? This is not good. Why are we all standing around down here? Look at him. Hey, guys, back up. Guys, get back a little bit. Guys, get back a little bit. Oh, what the fuck? What the hell are we doing? And then he just goes back because he's like, oh, shit.
Right.
And let's watch this.
Be the safety valve.
Here's the other thing that happened. This guy, Evans goes in motion. Stokes, Owens, Campbell.
I was just looking at that. Like, who do we have over there?
Here.
Right. And Stokes comes in tighter to like cover the receiver, Godwin. So
what are these three guys doing?
You got one guy for the back. The other guy should move over. What are we doing here?
Now, this is the 3rd and 2 play that they scored a touchdown on. No, it's not. Yeah, it is. All right, so Campbell's going to motion.
Mm-hmm.
And Campbell's going to motion to cover Mike Evans. Or to cover, to cover the slot. He's not going to cover Mike Evans. I'm assuming they're playing a zone here. And Rudy Ford is concerned that something bad's going to happen. And he's right. Something really bad's going to happen.
And Jonathan Owens and Quay Walker are standing 2 feet away from each other.
Yeah.
Why?
Jonathan Owens and Quay Walker are standing right next to each other for reasons I don't know.
You only
and
need
all
one
of
of
these
them
guys
to cover the running back.
And we got 2 guys here because now Rudy Ford's like, shit, no one's getting back to help. Because I think what Rudy wanted was to stay down and help here and then have Owens take his spot back deep. Right? Because if Owens would go deep, then Rudy Ford can come in here and play tighter, which is what should have happened. Because then, you know what I mean? Because then we would have another defender up here, and then Owens would be here instead of down here doing absolutely nothing. And I think that's what Rudy Ford was trying to get him to do. But because he wouldn't move, Rudy's like, shit, someone's going to get back here. We're going to get screwed. And now, once again, Baker sees DeVondre Campbell, and he's like, DeVondre Campbell? I ain't worried about him covering my guy. I'm going to throw it right there, right in front of DeVondre Campbell. Hell, there's another defender right behind that guy right there who's laying down for some reason. I don't know what happened there. I'm just going to throw it right at DeVondre Campbell. He's not going to pick this off. Not only is he not going to pick it off, my guy's going to run 50 yards for a touchdown. Because Rudy Ford slips. And that's the end of that. So whose fault is that? Is that Joe Barry's fault? I think it's DeVondre Campbell's fault because he's right there. Make the fucking play. You're making $50 million for your contract or however much money you're making. I don't care if you're hurt. You are there. Get your long arms. You got arms like a freaking dang basketball player. Look at that.
He's right there.
You're right in front of this tiny little receiver. Just stick your whole body out there.
Dive.
Stick your face on the ball if you have to. But nope.
And
then, of course, you don't make the tackle either. And you got guys on the ground, pants on the ground, looking like a fool with guys on the ground, right? That's the classic, American Idol song. And you're saying, what's going on with this?
Rudy Ford's terrible.
Rudy Ford's
right?
terrible. Yeah, Rudy Ford's not terrible. Rudy Ford's the only guy who's like, hey, what the fuck are we doing out here? And now this is the last play where they could have scored a touchdown and they were merciful on us. They only beat us by 14. They could have easily beat us by 21. And the problem is it's Wooden. I don't know why he's doing this. It's 41, who's a fullback. He could just take him on, shed the block, and then make a tackle. But he decides he wants to throw him to the ground instead. Okay. And in doing so, leaves the hole where all of these guys are covering their gaps, right? And if Wooden just holds up the block, there's nowhere for the running back to go. But Wooden takes him, throws him to the ground, and one is able to jump over the top and take off for a whole bunch of yards. And it's Wooden's fault. Look at him. He throws him to the ground, and there's your hole. And there he goes. And that's the end of that. And there's one more thing I want you to watch. Watch the pursuit of our guy, Kenny Clark. Watch the great Kenny Clark here after the ball gets past him on this 4th and 1. Just watch. Watch the great. He gets one single block, by the way, manhandled. The great Kenny Clark. And now watch Kenny Clark's. Watch him. Working real hard, Kenny Clark.
Yeah, it's too
Good
late.
thing we gave you all that money, Kenny Clark. Good thing. Kenny Clark.
He gets lots of
And when
money.
you got a defense that's led by DeVondre Campbell and Kenny Clark.
Is that the same DeVondre Campbell that just whined and complained, I'm not playing ever again unless I'm 100% healthy?
It's fine with me, because apparently even when you're in the right spot, you can't make the fucking play. So I don't want to hear no more. I don't want to hear no more. That's all I'm going to say. We had a great Baker. Baker showed up and Bakered us all game long. Pinpoint accuracy. Was not afraid to throw at DeVondre Campbell and Quay Walker. Didn't care. He's like, you guys suck, and I know it. Preston Smith, you're going to drop back in coverage? Hee-hee-ha. Whatever. I'm chucking it right at you because I know you're not going to move. And they don't move. They move like an inch and then stand there and put their arm out like this. Well, there's a whole lot of space around that arm to complete a pass. Move your fucking body over there, you dumb shits. I don't know. It's disgusting and it's bad, but it's not just Joe Barry. It is Joe Barry, and I think he should be gone. I agree. Right. I hate it to see guys get fired and all this kind of stuff. But I mean, it was just everything. Miscommunication, guys not covering guys being in the right place but not making the play. Nobody knows what the hell's going on. Repeatedly, Rashawn Gary just pass rushing past the quarterback and leaving an empty hole for him to step up and make a pass where he should just collapse the pocket. This is Baker Mayfield. He's 6 feet tall. He can't see over the defensive line and the offensive line. If you guys just shove it, it's like Russell Wilson. That's how you stop Russell Wilson. Just condense the pocket, force him to run around like a crazy guy on the outside, right? Don't give him that easy open lane for him to step up, and then he has a clean view of everything. With a short quarterback, you want to condense your offense, condense the offensive line, condense your pass rush, and take away his visibility. And the Packers didn't do that, and Baker took advantage of us all game long. Period. Baker played great.
Yeah.
But also, our defense sucked. Joe Barry sucked, and everything sucked.
But everything sucked. Take, as you showed in some of those plays, it did take him being brave, willing, anticipating throws, seeing it, letting it rip, like and all that stuff. Yeah,
that's one thing about Baker. Is like, that's why I like him. I've you know this. I've had him top 10 quarterback for years.
I mean, before the season, there were people talking about maybe bringing him into Green Bay, man.
They should have. They should have. I think he's only on a 1-year contract. Bring him in next year. If he plays like this in December at Lambeau Field, let's do it.
He's only one of 2 quarterbacks that have a perfect quarterback rating in Lambeau Field.
Him and Aaron Rodgers.
That's it.
That's
one game.
Yeah, that's better than Brett Favre. That's better than Bart Starr. Yeah. It's even better than the great Don Mikowski.
I mean, the guy is.
What are you gonna do?
The guy is crapped on a lot.
He is.
And Rasul made him look bad. But
that's the other thing. No Rasul here to help us. Baker just was like, you guys don't have Rasul anymore. I ain't worried at all. I'm throwing this sucker all over the place. And he did.
And what is that? I mean, if DeVondre Campbell, let's just put this back on him real quick because he's the one that spoke out on Twitter. If he's not good enough to help you as a pass defending linebacker, then what good is he? Because he's not a run support guy. He's not physical. He doesn't attack plays. He doesn't hit guys hard that he's going to knock them backward. So what good if he cannot help you as a pass defending linebacker, then what good is he? And that's not just an injury. Like his legs ain't broken. So why the hell can't he move there fast enough? I don't know, man. I don't know. And then you got
because he doesn't react.
Top paid corner. Yeah, he doesn't react and he's passive. Even in those situations you saw, like he saw it, but he was instead of attacking the play, he's like, "Oh, how do I get around this guy? Maybe I should back up a little bit so I don't take too much contact. And I'm going to go this way and I'm going to go that way, and then I'll get around him eventually and tackle the guy 14 yards downfield."
And how many times have we watched film of our guys, our pulling guards and pulling linemen,
ass kicked,
and they not get their ass kicked, but they totally whiff on a guy because the guy just ran right through it. Like they were because these offensive linemen aren't that fast. Right. Like they're going to go to where you are instead of where you're going. So if you keep moving and run past them, they're probably going to miss you. But Campbell doesn't ever attack. He just stands there and waits to get blocked. Like he didn't move. That screen pass I showed. He just stood there 8 yards in the backfield until the ball was caught, and then he got blocked and shoved 2 yards back, and then he made the tackle 2 yards past that. So he got a tackle out of it. So, that helps the stat sheet said he got a tackle. He must have done something good. No, he did about 5 things wrong on that play. But now he's complaining on Twitter that he's never going to play because he's hurt or whatever. Well, good, because you stink.
Ooh, JJ says it. Campbell is cooked. Stokes, Alexander, Clark could all go.
Stokes ain't going to go.
It'd be nice.
He's still on his rookie deal next year.
They're not going to go. Look at the teams with great MLBs. Campbell ain't even close. That's true, too. And then Lee says, I like that Green Bay is loyal to guys that come in, but it's becoming insanity, loyal to a fault. Sad to watch.
Really, Lee? That's funny because I'm pretty sure they traded Rasul Douglas. That's not very loyal to a guy who never missed a game, by the way. Unlike Jair and Campbell and all these other guys, never missed a game.
All he did was make plays.
All he did was make plays and cover his guy and have one of the lowest quarterback ratings against him in his whole career in Green Bay. Gets picks all over the place. Single-handedly saves games for us and against multiple teams, including against Baker Mayfield. They didn't have his back. I don't know. Probably because Rasul is a little more outspoken than most. So they don't like that. That's why they got rid of Mike Daniels too, and he talked about it.
A good point.
Yeah,
that made me think. That made me think of this because I saw it, and we might as well play it because when I watched this, it's only a minute long. When I watched this, man, it hurt my heart. It hurt my heart because I want you, and that is the thing, right? We want to hope that they're loyal to guys that give for them. And instead, you got guys like Campbell who are like, "I'm not doing it anymore. I'm not playing hurt anymore because look at what you get. You get heat. You get heat for it. Me. I want you to watch this guy. Rasul Douglas was kicked around the league right before the Packers scooped him off the practice squad of the Arizona Cardinals. Teams didn't think he was good enough. He got to the Packers right away. He didn't think he was going to get to play because he knew how the league worked. He said this in his Big Play Slay podcast. And then they said to him, well, our guys are so terrible, you might get a chance to play. Basically, that's what they said, but not like that. And he was like, okay, shit, you're going to give me a chance to play? All right, I'm playing then. Let me show you what I can do. So he did that. And then at this moment, this was after Baker Mayfield. He made Baker Mayfield look like a chump and picked him off and basically helped win the game.
It would have been nice to have 29 out there on Sunday, I'll tell you.
1 minute and 5 seconds of Rasul Douglas. This is his post-game interview after he made a pick six for the second game in a row or whatever. And then also just kept saving the Packers' ass that season in 21.
For this defense, you had two of them as Mercedes Lewis comes over and gives you a Christmas love there.
Yes, sir.
3 picks for you here at Lambeau. What's going right for you?
I don't know. The coaches have put me in a good position to just make plays, and I'm making them.
We talked about it before when you walked over. You were on 5 teams this year, including the Packers. Why? Why are you having so much success with this group?
Oh, my God. That's unbelievable. I'm going to hit you on the ground.
Why is it going so well for you with this team?
I have no idea. It just feels good here with the coaches, the players, Lambeau. Everything just feels great.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Everything just feels great. Feels good here, Ben.
Doesn't anymore. Why are we talking about a guy not on the team, David? Because we're showing the difference between what we had and what we have now. We have whiny bitches who don't want to play. And we had a guy who played through anything and gave it all he had, and we kicked him to the curb. And that's why we're showing that. Because it's hard to be a Packer fan when you're watching this shit. It's hard to be a Packer fan when I buy a jersey, the first jersey I bought in a long time, because a guy made me feel something again. Because I hated the quarterback and I couldn't stand him. But Rasul brought me back. Brought me back to being a Packer fan. And I was so excited for this season without Rodgers here to see what was going to happen. And to be quite honest, Love hasn't shown me anything. I know a lot of people are saying he had a good game. I don't see it. It's not all his fault, though. I got some video to prove that later. But the bottom line is this. I can't keep doing it anymore. I can't keep watching this crap and being okay with it. And we're calling it out. Our players suck. We have good players. We ship them out of town. We had Micah Hyde. We didn't even offer him a contract, and he felt disrespected. Ridiculous. And I know that's years ago. But it's like...
It's a trend.
I honestly thought this year was going to be awesome because we got rid of the dead weight. We got rid of Lazard. We got rid of Cobb. We got rid of Big Dog. We got rid of Tunyon. We got rid of freaking, what's his face? Crap, can't remember his name. Oh, Amos. If we could only get rid of Campbell, that would have helped too. Kenny Clark, get his ass out of town. All these guys that are useless and make a bunch of money. Bye. See ya. I want young and hungry or veteran players who leave it all on the line. I would take a team with 100 Rasul Douglases over 1,000 Jair Alexanders. Because one guy's a player, one guy's a freaking talker. Actually, he's not even a talker. He sucks at talking, too. He's not really good at anything, to be quite honest. I can't think of one thing he's good at. I don't know how he makes all the money, but that's the point. So, I don't know. I'm sorry, David. I'm not trying to get mad at you, but...
Well,
And it's not. We don't want to talk about a lot about him. It's just
you.
He would have made a difference in this game.
Yeah.
You know what? He probably wouldn't have, because Baker did not really attack the corners too much. He went after the linebackers.
But you got to think. Well, it's true. You can only control so much as a corner, but you have to think without any leadership in the back half of the defense, there could have been some from him. But again, Goody doesn't look at that sort of stuff. Those aren't things he worries about. He's trying to find the next incredible athlete that could be the next superstar at a premium position. Those are his priorities when he drafts. And he's shown you that time and time again. And that's why we are where we are. But let's go to the offense, Ben, or is that what we have video of next?
Yeah, I got something. Somewhere.
Okay, so Aaron Jones, this whole Aaron Jones stuff was perplexing. First of all, I was driving to Knicks for the game, and I was listening to the radio, and there was the pregame interview with Matt LaFleur, and they asked him about Aaron Jones coming back because AJ Dillon was out with a broken thumb or broken finger, whatever it is, and he's like, "Yeah, I mean, we're expecting." We're not sure how much we can get out of him, blah, 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 and all this stuff. But if we could get 15 to 20 plays out of him, that would be great. And then they come out on the first drive and it's all Aaron Jones. And I'm like, man, that wily Matt LaFleur, he put it out there before the game. They're just going to give him 15 plays, 15, 20 plays. And Aaron Jones, they're going to ride him this game and it's going to be awesome. Little did I know that was going to be the bulk of his carries for the whole effing game in the first drive.
And then after the game, Matt LaFleur, once again, every press conference, whenever they lose, we got away from the run there. We got away from the run there. Tell you, Matt LaFleur.
Where are the answers? That was on me. I guess I just didn't get him involved enough with only 5 more carries the rest of the game. What's your explanation on that? Tell me, I don't understand.
Oh, I know you're going to show me already. Here you go.
How does he get away with that answer? I don't know. I'm flabbergasted by the fact that he can give that response for the 800. And it's not just him. Mike McCarthy did the same thing, right? So what is it? What is it about Aaron Jones that they just forget about him? Does Ben Simmons secretly hate him? Yeah. Is he just too quiet that he doesn't speak up to be like, I need to get back in the game, guys? And they forget about the fact they have 33 on their team. I don't understand it. 8 carries on the first drive where you drive down the field, and then 5 carries the whole rest of the game.
It doesn't make any sense.
And after the game, he's like, I guess coach was just trying to protect me there a little bit. But he said he's feeling great. And he sat up for weeks. Please, somebody press Matt LaFleur. Give me an answer. Who the hell is responsible for Aaron Jones only getting 5 carries the rest of the game after the opening drive when it looks so great on the opening drive? Somebody explain it. Somebody press them for a goddamn answer, because it doesn't make sense. Show me some plays.
All right, these had nothing to do with Aaron Jones. They're all just bad play calls in the passing game. So here we go. For the most part.
Boo. Matt LaFleur.
So bad play calls that don't utilize the field, don't utilize your players. So we got play action, and we got 8 blockers. Only 2 guys in the route. 2 guys. Now, 35 is grabbing the hell out of this guy up here, whoever the hell it is. I think it's Romeo Dobbs. I don't know who it is. And then you got 2 guys bracketing this guy. I don't know what the plan is here. What's the plan for an 8-man pass protection? Okay, then DeGuara sneaks out. But at this point, Love's already got pressure on him.
I would say, making guys change direction might be a good idea.
Right. Well, Romeo's going to the corner here. I don't know if he's going to come back. I'm not sure what's going on. But a smart quarterback might just be like, dump it over here to Josiah DeGuara. That's what I would do. Maybe he doesn't see him. But this much is for sure. Wicks is got a guy on him. like grabbing him, which is probably a penalty, by the way. But he's grabbing him, so you can't throw there. Maybe Romeo here. But this is your safe pass, and you should know that he's a leaker. It's just part of the plan, right? Look there for the leaker. Doesn't look for the leaker. He decides to go deep. Oh, no, gets sacked right away. He gets sacked right away. But you had an outlet guy there. But the bottom line was it's just a dumb play. And with 7-8 man protection, we can't hold up.
That's where he got his helmet ripped off. Yeah, okay.
So you can't hold up. What are you going to do? I don't know. So for some reason, DeGuara is coming in really low on this guy. I don't know if he's supposed to chip him and then get up, or I don't know. But here you got Tucker Kraft coming behind him and 32 coming behind here. Drake, right?
Yeah.
And they're all looking at these two guys, and DeGuara is still laying on the ground. I don't know why he's laying on the ground when he was supposed to be the guy. I think he's supposed to chip him, but he went low. Maybe he tripped over his own feet. I don't quite know. But these two guys are looking here, and guess what? 52 screaming around the edge, and 9 waiting right here for anything if Love tries to come up through this angle. So you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 guys. There's only 4 guys in coverage on this play.
Jesus. You got a double on the outside guy, and you got a double on the inside guy. There's 0, and
and Kenya Drake does a pretty good job getting 52 at first.
Yeah, just
then 52 just shoves him out of the way like it's nothing. And now you got Tucker Kraft's got to block 2 guys. Well, that's kind of hard to do. Right. DeGuara's getting up trying to sneak out of there now. But at this point, it's way too late. But we saw there's nowhere to go with the ball. Whose fault is that? I don't know. I don't know what that play was, but it was dumb. If there's one thing these guys prove they can't do is pass protect. They're terrible at it. So why mass protection would be good? I don't know. Now, here is something we showed earlier. When the Packers play this coverage, here, same thing. 4 deep and 3 under.
God, look at all that space. Nobody's attacking it.
Well, it's okay. They would come in there. I mean, Tucker Kraft is coming across here. This might be okay. But this guy is reading it and going. Like, he's not standing there. Like, our guys would just be standing here and wait till the ball is thrown before they go. This guy is reading. Tucker Kraft's coming at the middle. I'm going there now, right? This safety on the top.
Mm-hmm.
And then you got Reed down here. Looks like he's open. But look, this guy is eyeing him and coming out across this way. Whoever this is either a linebacker or something. So he's bracketing to cover it, take this out of the way. The only pass really is Aaron Jones. Because I don't know what Romeo Doubs is doing, but this guy is right in his lane, and there's really no place to throw this ball. Love's got a good pocket here. He immediately goes to Aaron Jones. This is another one of those Romeo Doubs is going to run straight deep, and why, I don't know. And it's 3rd down, so Aaron Jones catches it and then runs out of bounds. So I don't know. They didn't attack. Why is Romeo Doubs? That's the thing that bothers me. Why is Romeo Doubs on 3rd down doing a double move to the end zone?
I don't know.
Why isn't he doing a slant right here?
Yeah,
cut right here,
or an in cut right here?
That would be a useful play, right?
Yeah.
If he runs a slant here with this guy so far off and Aaron Jones doing an out route, it puts pressure on this linebacker. If the linebacker sits and takes away the slant, you throw to Aaron Jones, he gets 1st down. If the linebacker goes with Aaron Jones, you throw the slant to Romeo Doubs, you get a 1st down. It's that simple. Why is Romeo Doubs do it out and up on 3rd down? Attack where you need to go to get the 1st down. Attack one player on defense. Make him decide what to do. Yet Matt LaFleur does repeatedly not do that. And on 3rd down, where the 3rd down marker is right here at the 13-yard line, we've got Romeo Doubs at the 5, freaking Kraft at the 5, Daltavian Wicks on his way to the 5. They're all going to the end zone on 3rd down.
And then Reed just
and then you got Reed, who only went a 5-yard route, and Aaron Jones, who runs a 5-yard route. It's 3rd and 8.
And
let's run a 10-yard route.
And look at that, Ben. Look where everyone is placed right now. And look at all the space in the middle of the field where nobody is.
It's dumb.
Not a single goddamn guy. You're not making them cover. You're not making them cover all that space. They can use on The majority of those routes, on 4 of those 5 pass routes, they can use the sideline to help them.
This is the
Just-
Aaron Jones offense right here. I
Aaron
thought it
Rodgers,
was.
you mean.
Aaron Rodgers, yeah.
Yeah.
Apparently, I guess it's the Matt LaFleur offense too. But we watched Baker Mayfield attack the middle of the field all game.
Yep.
And the Packers just don't do it. And then it's also just dumb that it's 3rd and 8 and you're running 5-yard routes and like 25-yard routes and nothing in the middle. Nothing for 10 yards that would get you the first down. It's freaking dumb. So is that Jordan Love's fault? I thought it was Jordan Love's stupid. He's not stupid. It's not Jordan Love's fault. It's Matt LaFleur's fault. When you're calling plays like that, you deserve to lose. Here's another dumb play in the red zone. These are red zone plays.
Oh, David's out. I'm sorry, David.
What? He's mad at me?
He's mad for us showing negative plays. I'm out.
I'm sorry, David. We're showing the truth. If you can't handle the truth, come back and we'll be happier later. But I'm mad. I'm sorry. And you're a great guy, and we love you, man.
The Packers lost the game that they shouldn't have lost. Well, they lost many games they shouldn't have lost. But Matt, we're showing you coaching is a big challenge here, for sure.
This is another one where they're not attacking the middle of the field in the red zone again. You got double team on the outside. We're doing outside plays here. There's nobody in the middle of the field up here. There's nobody in the middle of the field in the middle. None of these routes help each other. This guy just turns around and comes back. This guy just goes out in the flat. This guy just goes out over here. These two guys are just hanging around. There's nothing. There's nothing attacking the middle of the field. No one goes in multiple directions. And once again, of course, this guy's going to catch it and just tackle right away. Because they're not attacking anything. There's no route combinations. So what are we doing? It's dumb. Here's another red zone play. I don't know quite what happens, but I'm sure it's bad, or else I would have put it on here. Oh, yes. This is 3rd down, 3rd and 4, or 3rd and 3.5. And we run these plays. Okay, so we're running 2 shallow crosses from this side across the field to the top of the screen, and a shallow cross on the bottom of the screen with Tucker Kraft. Now, this takes forever to run. Our 2 outside guys, one of them I think is a running back. So 27, running back. I don't trust him running up here. And then your receiver down here are single covered.
They're going zero safety here too.
And they're going 0.
There's nobody back there.
What if we would have done first of all, you want to have this guy go straight. If you're going to do 2 crossers, have this guy do like a cut like this, have a cross here, and then a cross here, and then put pressure on this linebacker. If he goes with the deep cross, you throw a 13 underneath. If he worries about 13, then you can throw up here, as long as this guy stays away. But the other thing that's key is this. What if you use 13 to do a shallow cross this way, right? Which takes out this guy. If they're playing man, and you got this guy coming across, you can hit him here. And then you got Tucker Kraft coming across, and 13 takes out this guy, and he takes out the guy covering Tucker Kraft. So you have an option of Bo Melton in the flat, or Tucker Kraft coming across this way in the flat. But instead, they run crosser, 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 all shallow crossers. So they're all bunched up in the same spot. It takes forever for them to get there. And they don't tackle the middle of the field deep. They're all standing here. You'll look in a little bit. They're all going to be about within 5 yards of each other. Right there. These 2 guys, and he's supposed to pick him off so he can get across, right? But even if he catches this, Wicks's guy is right here, and Wicks can't block him. So if he'd throw it now to Kraft catches it, probably gets tackled. Maybe, I don't know. That's the only option you have. Or you could throw it here to Wicks, 34. He could break this tackle, probably get upfield. Love doesn't do it. I don't know what he's looking at. I don't think he's waiting up here. I'm pretty sure this is 27. This is Taylor up top. He's not going to run a good enough route to get open up the top of the end zone. This is stupid. Put a wide receiver up here if you're going to do something like this. But that's where he's looking. He's looking here. Throw the ball to Wicks. He doesn't. He holds the ball. Then he gets pressure from the blitz. Tucker Kraft doesn't get open. because Bo Melton never set the pick for him. And it's just a mess. All right, so this is just...
Let's take a quick break here.
All right, I'll be done. We don't have to watch any more video. I'm done then.
Just to make a comment here. So, look, David's one of our faithfuls, and I don't mean to turn you off, David. Sorry about that. But I will say this. Matt LaFleur didn't give us any answers. Right? Matt LaFleur. I will say this for the Green Bay media. They asked, they've gotten way better, Ben, at asking tough questions. And I don't know if they're just paying attention more, if there's more people in the room or more football people, if it's kind of the growth of, kind of the expansion of what is media these days. But there's people asking some pretty specific and tougher questions, and Matt LaFleur is not giving them any answers. So he's not giving you answers. The mainstream shows are just saying all the same BS talking points. So when we come on here, is it going to suck at times? Sometimes to deal with this? Yeah. But why do you think we want to show you reality of why the Packers lost this game? And instead of what the narrative is about just fire Joe Barry.
Yeah. That's the easy narrative everybody talks about.
Right,
Fire Joe Barry.
Guess
what, everybody? If the Packers would have had the fucking lead, then they could have put more pressure on frickin' Baker Mayfield. But they never got the lead because Jordan Love threw shitty passes. Hell, they went for it on fourth down. Jordan Love threw a shitty-ass pass. They got lucky. The defense bailed them out with the sack fumble. And that wasn't a great play either. Tucker Kraft made a guy miss, and Walker kind of got a little bit of a block there, so Tucker Kraft get in the end zone. But had Barley not made that sack fumble, what would we be talking about today? They would have got blown out by freaking even more. And technically, they got blown out by 21 because that running back stopped running. Could have easily scored a touchdown.
I think the other thing that's interesting in looking at the play contrast is that you see the other teams doing certain things to attack the Packers defense, and the Packers offense not doing those same things to attack the opposite defense. And so it makes you wonder, is the Packers defense really that bad, or is just the Packers offense not applying pressure to the other team's defense the way teams are doing to their defense? I don't know. I mean, what does the film show you? It shows you kind of a mixture of both. But
as a Packer fan, I want to know what happened.
Yeah.
And I don't want to hurt anybody or make them mad at us. But the thing is this, no one else is going to show you this stuff.
That's true. Nobody
else is going to show you the fact that Matt LaFleur is calling stupid plays. On 3rd and 8, he's running guys 25 yards downfield, and then the other guy's in the flat for a check down. And there's nobody taking advantage of the 10 yards that you actually need to get.
And I will say that's just for all the people that are up in arms about safeties 25 yards off on 3rd and 4, which you should be. The opposite of that is that those offensive plays, guys running 25 yards downfield on 3rd and 7, and guys running 3 yards. So only having two options, 3-yard outs, 3-yard routes, and 25-yard routes on 3rd and 7 is just as bad. It's just.
But you know what else is weird? If the Packers defense played the Packers offense, it'd be perfect. Because they're 25 yards deep, taking away the 25-yard deep play, and they're 8 yards deep, taking away the easy dump-off passes. But the thing is, other teams go and attack the different situations and do things differently, right? And that's why in the preseason, remember we went to preseason practice and the offense looked like shit?
Yep.
Well, this is why. The defense wasn't any good. They're really good. They're designed to stop the Packer offense. But nobody else runs a crappy offense like this. So, I mean, I don't know. I don't want to be like the biggest jerk of all time. But let's face it. We've been doing this for 4 years. We don't get many views. I'm not here for views. If you want to go watch a show where they tell you everything you want to hear and all this is all nice and great and blah, 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 fine. I'll show you the fun stuff if you want to see it.
The future's
I'll
bright.
tell you the happy stuff.
Loves the guy.
Okay, I don't know about that either.
I don't know either. Like, how can people be saying Love's clearly the guy?
But that's all they're saying. Like, after the game, that's all I heard. I mean, I feel good about Jordan Love. Why? Because he had 280 yards passing.
He's fine.
He got
I
like
think-
50-something yards in the last drive
think-
because because Tampa Bay just sat back and did nothing. And then once they got in the close to field goal range, what did they do? They clamped down and shut him down. He went 0 for 4 and fumbled and got sacked on 4th down. Before that, they're playing prevent defense.
I think what Jordan Love is showing you is that he can be a guy. Like, he could be a guy that could play quarterback for you, right? And you might, if you put a good team around him and have a good defense, you might be able to win some games and be competitive and all that. But does he feel like for people to be coming out and saying Love is clearly showing he's the guy. Like, I don't know if he's the next quarterback, career quarterback for this team. I haven't seen that yet. But is he a guy that could be a good quarterback? Sure.
Listen, what I've seen from watching the tape on offense is not. I have zero opinions on Love at this point. I don't know if he's good or if he's bad.
Right.
What I do know is this: he's not so great throwing the ball downfield. He's been inaccurate and lucky at best. His other issue is throwing the ball to the left. So I would run more plays to the right at different levels that attack different levels of the defense to the right, where he's proven he can throw the ball well, and not run passes or run routes that are all 25 yards downfield, because he sucks at throwing the ball 25 yards, 30, 40 yards downfield. Yet that's what Matt LaFleur keeps calling. Why? Attack the middle of the field. Jordan Love's pretty accurate there. He's proven it.
Yeah.
Throw the ball to the right. He seems to be pretty solid throwing the ball to the right on out routes and things like that. It's when he has to go to the left that he sucks. And his mechanics are off because his feet are off. Sometimes he takes too far out with his step, and then his ball goes way. That's usually what happens. Or he'll throw it off his back foot. But when he does set up and throw it to the left, he gets his feet are too wide, and the ball sails way too far to the left, and it's way outside. And it's happened repeatedly in this game, at least 3 times, where he's missed guys too far to the left, which also happened on that 4th and 2 play or 4th and 4 going for the touchdown that he totally missed on. But those are things that as a coach, as a ding dong, as an average white guy, according to Sean Mendenhall, I can see from watching the film. I can see Jordan Love has issues throwing to the left. Jordan Love has issues throwing the ball downfield. So I don't want to run 3 guys 25 yards downfield on 3rd and 8. I just don't. I'll run 1 guy down there to make sure the safeties, we keep them deep, right? Just take them out of the play. But I'm not going to run 3 guys deep. It's dumb. It's dumb because it takes too long. We already have enough problems with pass protection with certain players on our team. Josh Myers, John Runyon, really bad. And so why put more pressure on those guys to hold up the block even longer? Because you're running deep routes. And then, of course, if that doesn't work, then he just dumps it off to the running back, and then there's linebackers sitting there waiting, and then just go attack and tackle him after 2 yards. Happens all the time on 3rd and 8, 3rd and 3, 3rd and 4, whatever. They never attack where they need to get the first down. And that's Matt LaFleur. It's not Jordan Love. I don't even know if Jordan Love's good or not because Matt LaFleur is showing us all the bad things he's bad at. He keeps having him do things he can't do. If you know your guy sucks at throwing deep and he can't throw to left, don't do those things. Don't. Attack the right. Attack the middle of the field. Do anticipation throws to the middle of the field. That's what he's good at. That's what he did during the winning streak. That's when he looked great. And this game, they did the opposite of that. Deep and to the left. And he failed repeatedly, especially in the red zone, because they weren't going and attacking the middle of the field. And I showed you multiple times, they were doing these out routes, not routes and combinations to get guys open. Nobody attacked the middle of the field. What are we doing? I don't know. And I'm sorry if that makes people mad, but it's the truth. So, I mean, I don't even want to do this crap anymore. So that's fine. If you guys don't want us to do it, I'll stop doing it. I'm totally okay with it. But I'm going to tell you the damn truth. If you want to hear lies, go ahead and watch other things. If you want to hear people bump you up and say how great things are, go ahead and watch other things. I'm not here for that shit. I'm here for the truth. Sorry. It hurts.
And it should after a game like this in the last 2 games. I mean, the Giants, when I looked at the Giants score and the way the Saints throttled them, I mean, come on. How do you How do you let them hang around in a game against you the week before? And it was a simple numbers game, right? Like if you watch the Giants Saints highlights, all those sacks, you know what the Saints did? They brought a bunch of dudes. They brought 7 men sometimes, 7-man pressure, 6-man pressures. Like, get after the guy. Don't give him an escape route. And as soon as he had multiple guys in his face, he wasn't going to juke him and get away from him. And the Packers sat back and rushed 4 guys again and again and again with no stunts, and they got beat. And in this game, you know, freaking, you're playing against a wild card. Baker Mayfield, guy's on his 9th life. What the hell does he have to lose? He's going to play balls out. He's on a garbage contract. Somebody's saying that too. Like, one of the biggest bargains of the NFL season this year is Baker Mayfield, right? He's playing on a 1-year, $4.5 million contract. If you were getting that quality of quarterback play from $4.5 million contract, you'd be pretty damn happy, no matter what NFL team you were. I'll tell you what, the Browns are paying, 10 times that or more for Deshaun Watson, and he ain't even there. Now they had to go get Joe Krusty Flacco out of retirement just to finish up the season. And he just made an extra $75,000 for this game. What is he? If he throws a touchdown pass, he gets an extra $75,000 or something like that. I don't know what it is. He's got a pretty good deal too, Joe Flacco. Remember, Joe Flacco played 4 good games and got a $120 million contract out of the deal because he played him at the right time. Joe Flacco, hats off to you, sir. That was well timed.
Genius move by
back in the day.
I feel bad now. David's like one of the best guys, and now he's mad at me.
He's not mad at you. I think he just had too many beers. He said he had 4 beers.
That's true. He did have a lot of beers. He did. He was drinking. Yeah. But sometimes I wish I was drinking, and this was all like me dreaming this stuff. There's all this Packer plays. The thing is, the reason why is this, because everybody's saying how good the offense looked and how good the run looks, and they're totally piling on the defense. And for good measure, the defense was bad.
Yeah.
It's just, there's things out there. I'm questioning a lot. I'm questioning Matt LaFleur. I'm questioning his offense. I'm questioning his knowledge of players and the players on his team. How long did it take him to get like Tucker Kraft and Wicks and got these guys are playmakers. Get them on the field. Like, we should have known this earlier.
That's the ultimate question. Is who plays, who makes that decision? And the rotations on it, who makes that decision? Is that still completely up to the position coaches? Does Matt LaFleur have no input on that? Or is he not in charge of I want these receivers on the field, I want these defensive guys on the field? Like, does he completely leave that up to the position coaches? And if he does, and he's calling plays, or Joe Barry's same thing with Joe Barry, right? Like, if he's calling a defense, but he doesn't know who's on the field,
that makes a big difference.
Yeah.
I mean, unless they don't know what their players can do. But I would call a certain play for a certain player.
Right.
Like if I had Eric Wilson out there, he's a good cover guy. So, I'd want him out there on 3rd down. But I wouldn't ask him to do in the box, stop the run, even though he did it on 4th down last week, right? He had one good play against the Giants on 4th down last week. But But on offense too, if I had A.J. Dillon, I wouldn't be lining him out outside to do a freaking go route. That's for sure. And the play I showed earlier where Patrick Taylor was lined out outside to do a go route on freaking as a wide receiver.
Right.
What's the point of that?
A lot of things that don't make sense.
I had something I was going to say, and I forgot what it was now. Son of a monkey butt.
JJ thinks David will get over it, he says.
Well, I hope so. I hope so. Because he's been sticking with us for a long time.
Everyone's frustrated.
And I got mad because he was upset. We were talking about Rasul Douglas, but
he was also giving Aaron Jones some garbage. And I get people frustrated with Aaron Jones, but should you be more frustrated with Aaron Jones or the coach is holding him back? Because even after the game, Aaron Jones said he felt good, but he just felt like because they asked him some questions specifically. I heard his interview, and they were like, I think it was his Monday interview, so it was post game day. And they asked him, but did you, after you had that start with 8 carries on the first drive, did you expect to get more action or whatever? And he's like, oh, well, Aaron Jones is a good guy. He's not going to, other running backs would be pissed and be like, yeah, I don't know why the hell I wasn't on the field getting the ball. Aaron Jones is like, I think that was his coach trying to protect me, or, blah, blah, blah. Well, isn't that part of the problem? Like, what are we doing? Like, that's the other thing with decisions. You got a player who's high paid, who has sat out a lot of games, who is when he's on the field and in your game makes a difference. I mean, what are we protecting him for? Like, if he gets hurt, he gets hurt. If you re-aggravate something, okay. But we've held him out long enough. You got him back on the field. Let's use him. Like, what are these guys on the roster for? Like, that ultimately becomes a big question as a fan. What are you paying these guys for? What are they on the team for? What are they on the roster for? If they're not on there to try to get on the field when they can actually play football, whether they're 100% or not, then what are we doing?
Who's the best player at this point? If an injured guy is not as good as his backup, play his backup in the case of DeVondre Campbell and freaking McDuffie, right? I'd rather see McDuffie.
Yeah, 100%.
But Aaron Jones compared to A.J. Dillon with a broken thumb and Kendrick Drake, who just came off the street, and Patrick Taylor, who doesn't know how to get out of bounds, apparently, I'm going with Aaron Jones. Mm-hmm. He's a freaking all-pro playmaker type running back. And even if he's not healthy, he's still shifty enough to make plays. He proved it on the first drive. He got us into the freaking field goal or into touchdown range, and then we blew it. Now we tried to run, and we didn't block very well. And then in our fourth down play, Love sailed it to the left too far, even though freaking Reed was wide ass open. But that's the point. Nobody wants to hear anything bad about Jordan Love. Apparently, everybody thinks Jordan Love's the guy, even though I don't at this point, because I have video to prove it. I'm not going to show it because everybody gets mad. But all I can say is this. We have some positive things. I think Wicks is doing good.
Mm-hmm.
I think Kraft is proven some things. Yeah. I like him better than Musgrave as an all-around tight end.
I'm with you.
I think DeGuara should be gone. I was a DeGuara backer, but this season I've just seen, like, why is he falling down on that play I showed earlier?
I don't know.
Like, what are you doing? Like, I don't know. I don't get it. Stay up. When you fall down, you're out of the play.
Yeah.
It's dumb. Stay up. It's dumb. And Zach Tom, awesome. Okay. We got some young guys that are good. The defensive young guys, Valentine is getting way too cocky. I'm scared. I don't like it. It's starting to freak me out. I'm not a fan anymore. Jonathan Owens, I don't know what he was doing. There was not good communication between him and Rudy Ford.
Yeah, he's done.
Rudy Ford was hung at the drive many times in this game. And then everybody's like, Rudy Ford sucks. Rudy Ford sucks. Rudy Ford is getting screwed.
Yeah, he was just trying to hold it together.
So I don't know what the answer is. I don't know why against Patrick Mahomes we look so good and why against Baker Mayfield he chews us up.
Yeah. And Quay Walker has looked just lost. I don't know what's going on with him. But I wonder about, because the other thing that was discussed, I was listening to Andy Herman's show, and the other thing that was discussed about, like, okay, if you replace Joe Barry, like, who do you actually get?
Right. You don't have anybody.
Because you're looking at, if you're firing Joe Barry, it's because there's heat. And if there's heat, the only guy left pretty much is Matt LaFleur, because he's not only the head coach, is not only the offensive play caller, but he's the head coach. So if you want to expect to get like a top-notch defensive coordinator to come in and start his system and perform, teach it to everybody, get him to be performing well in the first year, because the head coach doesn't have a long leash, and then he might be gone, and then what's your future? You don't know. So what kind of guys are you going to get to take that job? And it's hard to say, right? I mean, you'd have to get somebody who's really well thought of, that maybe they're taking a step back from a head coaching job, like Robert Saleh, like you said, although that's probably not going to be the case, but it would be nice. Do his buddy a solid, give him 1 year awesome defense. Who even if, the coaching staff got disbanded after 1 year, the guy would still feel really comfortable about him landing a good job. But these other guys, they're trying to move up, and this would be like a stepping stone for them. 1 year isn't enough for you to prove yourself. So to get a guy from college who's trying to make it to the NFL, like, that's going to be a tough challenge. Maybe you get a guy like Leonard this time because, his ties to Wisconsin and all that stuff. Maybe, who knows? But could somebody else come in, whoever the hell it is, and see the possibilities of different ways to utilize guys? Because I'm telling you right now, if I had, like, Lucas Van Ness has been very disappointing this year. But if the Packers ran more stunts with Lucas Van Ness stunting to the inside, he could be a lot more, because he's tall, he's big, he's fast, like a lot more disruptive, right?
It also lets him not get hit right away, and he gets a free run at the quarterback, and he doesn't get hands on him right away, right? Which is very helpful.
And it's not a hard thing to change, right? You just say, we're going to do a lot more defensive line stunts. And this guy is fast and athletic and tall, and we want to take him from the outside and stick him inside when guys aren't prepared for that. Like, it's different if you line him up inside and he's rushing from the inside. But if you start him on the outside and he's not over the guard or the center, and all of a sudden he appears over the guard and the center when they're looking around trying to figure out what's going on, man, maybe he could be something. Maybe he could cause some havoc on the inside. I mean, it's simple stuff like that maybe someone else sees, they put into action, and maybe you see a lot more positive things. So I don't know. I hope they figure it out. Jay just says he heard possibly Corey Harris for DC. Corey Harris, is that the former defensive back?
Packer D-back?
Come on, legit? I heard maybe Dave Aranda, perhaps, former Badger coach, or Jim Leonard, former Badger coach. A couple of names kicking around from the college ranks. Jay just says next year's draft is definitely cut out for us. Well, we'll see. I think the Packers have to draft smarter. I think they have to draft more for players that they need on their team and positions they need to fill, and stop swinging for the fences on premium positions. But we'll see how that goes. JJ thinks he's with Dallas right now. That would probably be a McCarthy move, right? He's got Scott.
Al Harris is with Dallas.
That's true. Al Harris is there. Okay. Yeah. Well, that's what I know for today. I was surprised by the DeVondre Campbell whininess, but I hope they hold it together and pull it together. Because reasonably, Ben, you have 3 winnable games potentially, and if they win all 3, they have like a 96% chance of making the playoffs because of the way the NFC is. And because you have the Saints playing people, and the Atlanta playing the Saints, and Vikings got to play the Lions twice and the Packers once, and Seattle's schedule, like all the other schedules of the teams that are right around the Packers, are pretty rough. So the Packers have a really good chance of making the playoffs if they can win some games. So we'll see.
I don't know. But I'm kind of, I don't care, I guess. I don't know. I gotta get out of this. I was so pumped up 2 weeks ago, man. It was crazy.
I know.
It's crazy. And I know I ride it. I'm emotional.
You're not unjust.
I'm down. It's just, when you watch, like, after watching the game, I thought Jordan Love was terrible. And then I heard everybody say how great he was. And then I watched the film and I was like, wow, you know what? Jordan Love's not that bad. He's doing okay. He's actually doing okay. And it's actually, Matt LaFleur is calling some shitty ass fucking plays. Like, really terrible. Like, he's got nowhere to go with these balls. He's not getting much protection in there. And he does suck throwing to the left. But other than that, like, he's not getting much help from LaFleur. I don't get it. And so when I'm losing faith in LaFleur now, I don't see anything. Like, we already know Joe Barry's bad. We already know the defense can't do anything. And we hope that that LaFleur would have a good enough offense, and it would look like Shanahan's offense, and that he would be able to, like, get Love some easy throws and get guys open on easy plays. And they're just not there. He's not scheming things open for him. It's actually even harder than what a normal offense looks like with Baker Mayfield playing. And it's disheartening to watch this, because you're like, what is this guy doing? Help your young quarterback out. Get him some easy plays. And they're doing these deep passes with only 2 guys in the route. Like, what are we doing on 1st and 10? Trying to throw a 40-yard bomb with 8 guys in protection, and your guys can't protect. Know what your players can do. Run, you can't block. He's terrible. Josh Myers stinks. Know what you have on the team. God, it's just, and then when they did the trick, like last week when they did the trick plays and all this kind of stuff, that's desperation. It's desperation time. I'm not feeling it. It's scaring me. And when you start to lose faith in the head coach, that's when, as a fan, there's not much you can do. And I'm losing faith in him. Because it's, if you can complain about Barry all you want, you complain the defense is not aggressive, that's fine. And that's, get rid of him. You still got the same players on the team.
Yeah.
Is DeVondre Campbell going to be just as aggressive with a different coach? No, he plays the way he plays. Is Quay Walker going to be any better? No. Is Kenny Clark going to be able to do penetration and all and just sit there and do nothing? Is Rashawn Gary going to do his rush past the quarterback every single time and give him an easy escape route every single time? Yeah. What's going to change? The players are who they are. And if the head coach, is the offense coordinator and he's calling dumb plays, what's going to change there? It's scary. It's scary and it's bad. And the difference is this. Jordan Love is not at this point, is not a game changer, right? Like right. Baker Mayfield is a volatile player, right? He's like Brett Favre was. He's going to chuck it in there, right? He don't care. He's aggressive. He's got moxie. Jordan Love has no moxie. He can make good throws and make some cool plays every now and again. But it doesn't look the same. It doesn't look like Baker does. It doesn't even look like Rodgers did. Rodgers looked like he was in command of everything. Like he was, his decisions were sound. He knew exactly where he wanted to go with the ball. He would not throw it if you weren't open. He would manipulate the defense with his eyes. Brett Favre was just run around, do crazy shit, chuck it into freaking triple coverage, but drill it in there. No fear, right? Baker Mayfield's no fear.
Yeah.
Jordan Love doesn't have that, I asked this question to Bruce and Eckes in our text, where I was like, what does Jordan Love have that he does that scares the opposing defense? Because he doesn't run. People keep saying how athletic he is. He doesn't run out of the pocket. He doesn't extend drives with his legs. He just doesn't. Once every 5 games he runs for a first down. But he doesn't. He tries to run to throw, but he doesn't have the arm that Aaron Rodgers had. So he should just run to run. Honest to God, he should. And that's what Rodgers did early in his career. Rodgers wasn't a run to throw guy. He was a run to run guy and extend plays and extend drives on third down. And that's what scared defenses. And that's what made them a little more worried. And then which would then lead to later on in his career when he did the extend to run to pass. But because Love hasn't shown the extend to run to get the first down run, defenses aren't respecting it, and they're still staying back, and the windows from the pass aren't there. So he has to be pinpoint accurate, which he is not on the run. So he needs to show them and kill them with his legs before they'll respect his legs and allow him to then use his arm to beat him later on. And he hasn't done it. The other thing is he doesn't have the accuracy, doesn't have the pinpoint moxie to throw it in there. Just doesn't. He'll take shots deep, but they're not very accurate. And I'll say this. Anytime the Packers move the ball on Sunday, a lot of those passes were 10-yard, 12-yard passes where Wicks or Kraft or whoever, they caught him on the turnarounder or whatever, and then they break tackle and move upfield, right? Tucker Kraft, he caught that one on the sidelines, jumped over a guy, got hit in the nuts with the guy's helmet.
Ooh, bad move.
That sucked, but it was run after the catch yards. Like everybody's like, Jordan Love's got 280 yards in this game. I'm like, I wonder how many yards after the catch he had in this game. I bet you had at least 100 yards after the catch. When you combine the Wicks and the freaking Tucker Kraft yards, a lot of those were after the catch yards.
Tucker Kraft is speaking to him, he's the right kind of mentality guy. Like you read his comments and stuff he tweets out and stuff. He's crazy. I don't know. Yeah, he's got a little more. I like him too. He's got there's positive things with this team, but like I said, I'm concerned about the head coach now. I'm concerned about the offensive play calling now, and that was what I'm down. I'm down on him because of that. So I don't care how many cool young guys we got that are coming up and looking good when your coach is doing dumb shit and your defense sucks and your Joe Barry should get canned. He should, no doubts. 3rd and 4, you don't have freaking 2 safeties deep, 25 yards and 30 yards. You don't do it. You don't do it.
It's dumb. But then we saw later on in the game when it was 3rd and 2, and they threw a 2-yard pass, and then they ran all the way 50 yards for a touchdown, and we only had one guy deep. So what do you do? I don't know. What's the right answer? Maybe that's why Joe Barry's playing 2 guys deep, because he knows they suck. So he needs to have those 2 guys back there to try to stop him from scoring a touchdown, right? But he can't come out in a press conference and be like, "Hey, Joe Barry, why do you got so many guys back there?" He's like, "Oh, because my other guys suck. So they got to be back there to make sure that there's someone there to stop him scoring a touchdown." You can't say that, right?
Yeah.
Though Matt LaFleur has been kind of calling out the players here lately.
Geez,
Subtly calling out the players.
Yeah. JJ's talking crazy now, watching Bryce Young throw for 500 yards. Come on now, JJ.
He might.
Come on.
He might.
That's crazy. JJ talks about the trade deadline. I think the Bucs will do anything. I don't think so. They did
Middleton.
Their off-season move was all they could do, getting Dame Lillard. So they're going to ride it out from here. They got to get Crowder back healthy and Pat back, and then they'll feel pretty good about their team.
Yeah,
we'll see.
All right, I'm done.
All right. Well,
I made David mad. Dang it, David. I'm sorry I made you so mad.
I know. I love David, but you know what? That's okay. He'll be okay. JJ said he's okay. He'll be all right.
I hate it when we lose guys because we're so crabby, but you know what?
That's what frustrated.
It's Packer outright opinions, man.
We're frustrated, and you should be frustrated as a Packer fan.
I'm not showing you anything that ain't true.
Right.
It's not like I'm just making stuff up.
Right. Straight up.
I'm showing the truth. And it hurts. Sometimes the truth hurts.
Todd was here. Todd says LaFleur doesn't appear to have a dominant presentation to himself. Yeah. So I'm not privy on how the locker room interprets that about the coach, even though the money should be motivation of players. Well, that's true. Yeah. It should be. You would think in general, you're getting paid millions of dollars to play a game. You should want to give it your best and be available and play. But Matt LaFleur is certainly not a guy who, if you're a player, probably scares you much, right? I mean, he's not big in stature. Yeah. He's not a guy who has he doesn't have Super Bowl rings. He doesn't have a lot of clout.
Well, the other problem is anybody who's been here for more than 1 year
saw Rodgers walk
over and do whatever he wanted. And so it really, demasculates him to all these veteran players. And that's why they have no fear. Like I said, the inmates are running the asylum. They have no fear because Aaron Rodgers was the guy who was in charge, right?
Yeah, right. Greg's still hanging around. He points out, look, if Love can get his footwork fixed, then maybe those things can be drilled in the offseason and be fixed. I'd like to see it be drilled now and work on it. But that is also that. What is Tom Clemens doing, right? Like, he's been around forever. Fix it, Tom Clemens. What's up, man? Come on. And Lee points out maybe Barry's coaching to nerf numbers, to nerf contracts until we're a Super Bowl threat. I don't know. Maybe. But again, it's going to be, we'll see how it all shakes out. The one thing I wholeheartedly disagree with is some people saying, well, let's see how it goes the next 3 games. And if the defense looks better under Joe Barry, he should keep his job or whatever. Like,
I don't think anybody's saying that.
Well, some people are talking about it. Like, if he looks good the next 3 games, he might keep his job. And look who we're playing. We're playing Carolina Panthers, the Vikings, 3rd string quarterback or whatever, and Justin Fields. Like, they should look pretty good against those 3 guys.
Yeah. I mean, what proved against Tampa Bay is Baker Mayfield is much better.
He's pretty good
than people say he is, and he deserves more respect. And that's all I can say about that. He played an amazing game. Guys were normal quarterbacks would not throw those balls, and in that case, DeVondre Campbell and Quay Walker would not have been exposed in the way that they were in this game, because normal quarterbacks would be like, "Oh crap, he's within 2 yards of my guy. I'm not throwing that ball. He might pick this off." Baker's like, I don't care. I'm throwing it in there anyways. Because the one time I didn't throw, I got strip sack fumbled, and I'm not letting that happen again. Because after that, he decided to throw every time into the middle of the field because he had no fear. And no fear equals winning games. When you're the aggressor, 9 times out of 10, something good happens for you. When you're the passive guy, 9 times out of 10, something bad happens to you. And right now, the Packers are passive on both offense and defense, and they're getting taken advantage of whenever a team comes in and smacks them in the face. And it's been the same problem on every Matt LaFleur team. So until they start getting some kind of change, somebody said, I think it was Tausch and Wilde, where they were like, it's kind of a good thing to have, like, Tausch was talking about player coaches that used to be players and are now coaches are a little more aggressive.
Sure.
And then the guys who aren't are more cerebral or whatever, like Matt LaFleur. But the problem is both Joe Barry and Matt LaFleur are not former players, or maybe they were college players, but didn't play in the NFL.
Yeah.
And he also said a lot of times if your head coach is one way, you want your coordinator of the opposite side. So like if your head coach is defensive based, then you want your offense coordinator to be the opposite of what your head coach is. And if your head coach is offensively, you want your defensive coordinator to be the opposite. So like if Matt LaFleur, in our case, Matt LaFleur is more of a passive, he takes shots down the field, right? But he's not like an aggressive guy where he's in your face. He's more, fire you up and say the F word a bunch, but not really like in your face. And Tausch is like, you kind of need your defensive coach then, your defense coordinator, to be the opposite of that. It's like a good cop, bad cop mentality. Have your defensive coordinator then be an in your face, fiery, get the guys fired up guy. Because different guys need different things. And sometimes you have to read the room. And maybe you're the defensive coach, but there's a guy on offense that really needs to get some fire on his ass. And Matt LaFleur is not a fire on your ass guy. So if you start going up and trying to be a fire on your ass guy, and this guy see Matt LaFleur not be that for a whole long time, he's not going to believe anything he says. But then the defensive coach might be like, Matt LaFleur might be like, hey, defense coordinator, whoever you are, that's your fired up guy, I need you to get on my offensive guy's ass because he sucks. And that way I'll still be good, cool with him. And then you can get in there and fire him up and get on his ass, right? Same thing on defense. If there's a guy on defense who doesn't respond to getting his ass chewed out, right? Then Matt LaFleur as the head coach and go in and give him a little, lovey-dovey, oh, it's okay, and we need you to really be the man. And maybe that guy responds to that sort of thing. Right now you got Joe Barry, who's a nice guy, Matt LaFleur, who's a nice guy. And then some of our guys are just like taking advantage of the fact that, it's good cop and it's a good cop. And we need a bad cop. And we don't have a bad cop on the freaking team or as a coach to get on these guys. And I think that makes a lot of sense. That was something Telsher said. He was like, I just don't think we have any guys who are, firing them up, because they were talking about the Mike Daniels thing. And when Mike Daniels said that, there's no aggressive guys on the team because they don't want guys with attitude. And then Tausch was saying that they don't even have coaches with attitude right now. And they don't. He's like, he liked it when they had Kevin Green. Kevin Green was a fire up guy, right? He wasn't the defense coordinator, but he had a lot of clout on the team and he was able to fire guys up. Is Jerry Montgomery a fire up guy? Is Greg Oladati a fire up guy? Is Greg Williams a fire up guy? I don't think so. I think maybe the new the outside linebacker coach, whoever his name, I don't know what his name. Maybe he's a fired up guy. I don't know.
Jason Vrabel, is he fired up?
Jason Vrabel's not a fired up guy. Luke Butkus, is he a fired up guy? Steno, he's not a fired up guy. No, like none of these guys. And Steno's a former player, but he wasn't any good. So how can he be all that fired up? But Kevin Green, I mean, he's an all Pro Bowl type freaking player. So when he says stuff, you listen, right?
Yeah.
And that's why I have always said, bring in former players and have them coach them up for a week or talk to these guys at their positions, just to give them some sort of fired up mentality from a guy who's been there and done that and knows what he's talking about, which is maybe what Rashad Mendenhall was talking about if we go back to the beginning of the show, where he, if you weren't there on the field, you don't know what it's like. And that could be true in some cases. And in some instances, players may need a kick in the ass. And that I will agree with Rashad Mendenhall. But to bring the race card in was the part I didn't like. But I would just say that maybe we need some fired up coaches to make these guys who need a little fire under their ass to get that fire under their ass so we can get some plays made. Because right now they're all not making plays. The guys are taking advantage of making big money, and they're not being aggressive.
And sometimes you do need to take a guy off the field when he's not expecting to be taken off the field.
Well, that's the thing. It's so hilarious.
Give him a jolt.
Last year, Rudy Ford made one mistake in the Bears game, and they benched his ass. Remember that? Yeah. After he had played so good for weeks and weeks and weeks, and they benched his ass after one terrible play where he did something wrong. And this week we're watching guys. DeVondre Campbell stinks the whole freaking game, and McDuffie's proven he's good. Get his ass out, put McDuffie in. They won't do it. But Rudy Ford, because he's a undrafted guy that they signed off the practice squad or whatever, the scrap heap of the Jaguars last season, they can freaking bench his ass after one crappy play.
Goody clearly doesn't value those guys that he gets off of somebody's.
Well, this isn't a Goody thing.
Well, sort of.
LaFleur should be coaching. They should be like. That's the thing. The other thing, you said something like, "Who's making the decision on this?" Remember in Rasul's?
Who is? I want to know who.
Remember in Rasul's interview with Big Play Slay, he said that in the first week of practice, after he first got there and he made the play, it was after the Cardinals game where he made the big play at the end.
Yeah,
Kevin King was back from injury, and Kevin was the first guy in line for the drills.
Yep.
And after practice, Matt LaFleur came up to him and he said, "Hey, what are you doing?" And he's like, "Oh, well, I'm letting Kevin King, he's the guy's been here." And then Matt LaFleur's like, "Listen, if you don't want this job, then fine. You can sit on the sidelines, but if you want to take it, it's there. Like, I don't care if he's a first round pick and you're a drafted guy or a third round pick who's been bounced around the league. If you want the job, it's yours to take, right?"
Yeah.
We talked about that. And then Rasul's like, "Oh, shoot, all right, I'll take it." He's like, "Oh, tell me twice. I'm going to go take it." And he did. He went and took it.
Yeah.
But the coaches didn't make the decision to have him go and do it. Like, they were okay for a whole day of practice having Kevin King get first team reps while the Rasul stand on the sideline after he saved the game for him in Carolina or against Arizona.
Yeah.
What are the coaches doing back then? This is the same bunch of guys. Well, Greg Williams is new, but so I guess his coach is different. But the secondary coach is different now. But it just shows, if I was the coach and this guy came and saved the day and Kevin King stinks up the joint, I'd be like, "Kevin, listen, you're not in." I was like, right. 29, you're in. 20, 21, or whatever your number, 21, whatever your number was, Kevin King was back then. You're out. 20, you're out. 29, you're in. Let's go. And it took till after practice, and I'm assuming Matt LaFleur must have then talked to Jerry Gray about, "Hey, we want Rasul in the game, not freaking, or in the team on practice drills, then ahead of Kevin King." So I don't know.
Well,
but Matt LaFleur needs to be watching this stuff more.
He does 100%. He needs to be on it. I'll give you this.
And the other thing is Matt LaFleur has a relationship with DeVondre Campbell from their days in Atlanta too. So that's the other thing. It's a key factor in this whole thing.
DeVondre Campbell's a nice guy.
He is a nice guy. That's it, and that's why it sucks to talk about him at the beginning of the show, like saying this stuff. But it's one of those. It's a tough.
He's a
it's
nice
a tough
guy
decision.
who his feelings are hurt, and that's why he tweeted what he tweeted.
Yeah.
But David puts us out. He's still around.
Back. All right.
Love you guys.
Good.
Remember,
I'm glad we didn't miss you, David.
And he says, "Remember, this one of our rookie receivers is going to break Sterling Sharp's record for receptions as a rookie."
I know.
Could that be a guy that
craziness.
I said was going to be the most
You
impactful pass catcher in the preseason debate show?
I beg to differ. I think Tucker Kraft has been pretty dang impactful, though he wasn't my guy.
Tucker Kraft is. I like him. Damn,
I like him too.
Mm-hmm. Hopefully they figured out. Man, Tucker Kraft is better at all these things we were asking Musgrave to do. So when Musgrave comes back, let's just have him do the stuff he's good at and let Tucker Kraft keep doing all this stuff. Yeah. Tucker Kraft said he helps out with the yak. He's a yak helper.
He is.
I know.
Him and Wicks are like the yak masters.
The first tight end that could give us yak for how many? I don't know how many years we've been waiting for a tight end that could yak it.
Since Finley. And Finley wasn't really that yacky either. He was more of a downfield guy. But he got a couple of yak. He had a couple of yak plays in there.
Yeah, he's pretty good. He's pretty athletic.
But Jared Cook wasn't a yak guy. Freaking
no.
Jimmy Graham certainly
Graham
wasn't
scored another touchdown this weekend. He's back 14 years.
What team is he on?
The Saints again. He scored He's got touchdowns. Jimmy Graham.
How is he still in the league?
He was just terrible with the Packers, but all these other teams, apparently he's all right.
Yeah. Well, Greg Taylor's he said I'm not gonna blame Joe Barry. It's LaFleur keeps him around, and he's right.
Yeah, that's true.
He's not wrong.
We'll see how it goes. Kraft balled out, David says.
He did, man. Kraft is
but he also got his balls crunched.
Yeah, he got balled out and balls out.
Poor Kraft.
He said after the game, like, D-backs usually jump. Usually D-backs go for my legs. So I thought I'd jump over him, and he just didn't go down. He stood up and smacked me in the nuts. So that'll hurt. That'll make you want to. Don't these guys wear cups? I guess they don't wear cups anymore.
I guess that.
That's
that
why you
was
should wear a cup.
That was not an appropriate replay, though. Come on. Anyway.
All right.
I gotta go. Craft's awesome. You gotta go. I gotta go. Everybody enjoy your weekend and enjoy everything else. We will not be doing a Friday night show. Friday is a very special day.
Yeah.
I'll be hanging out with Dad, and we're gonna be doing stuff with that because that would have been Dad and Mom's 50th wedding anniversary. So we're gonna be making sure we surround Dad with hugs and love that day. And so we're not doing a show Friday night, guys. So we appreciate you. Be good, stay good.
Family, we should do a family video chat though, so we can all talk today.
Yeah, we'll talk.
But I just want to say something real quick. We were excited this summer, and
I know
about doing an anniversary, 50-year anniversary party and celebration, and how exciting it was, and or how it was supposed to be. And now, of course, it's not happening because Mom's gone. I just want to say to everybody, you don't need 50 years to celebrate something that's awesome. Celebrate it every day. Tell the people you love every day. That's it. I'm going to cry. All right. Got to go.
Just remember, Mom is one of the biggest Packer fans you ever would have met. We love you, Mom. All right. You guys have a good weekend. Hopefully it's a victory weekend for the Packers. Have a good Christmas.
Yep. Merry Christmas, everybody.
Catch you guys next week.
Or happy holidays, whatever you celebrate.
Happy holidays, Christmas. Everybody take care of yourselves. Be good, stay good, and go Pack go. We'll catch you guys next week, okay? My play of the game, just as a side note, was the Kingsley Enigbari strip sack fumble and recovery all in one shot.
Mine was Tucker Craft nut shot.
There you go. Be good, guys. We'll catch you next time.